What is that, Dino? Dino says Solomonster is the new Dick Clark. Look, brother, okay, there can be only one Dick Clark. Okay, I should be so lucky as to be Dick Clark and have the success and the money that man had. Welcome for the 6th year in a row. It is the Make It Till Midnight stream here on New Year's Eve. Yes, 6 years in a row. Can you believe that? So for all the people out there who usually don't celebrate New Year's, or maybe this year you don't have any particular place to go, you don't have any plans, you can hang out with yours truly tonight. And I'm going to take you guys all the way to midnight here, the New Year's celebration. I am the Solomonster. And of course, New Year's Eve this year happens to fall on a Wednesday, which is not always the case. And so what we're going to be doing tonight as well is talking about AEW Dynamite, which actually ended up being a newsworthy show with that main event that we had. And we're going to just basically kind of duck in and out of the review and your questions. If you have super chats, you have questions you want to send in, periodically you will see a little countdown clock here on the screen so that I can keep track of how much time is left before we hit midnight. So as of this moment, it's a little over an hour and 14 minutes, at least here on the East Coast, before we hit 2026. Now, I know some of you that are watching this right now, you may not be on the East Coast. You may not even be in this country. So wherever you may be in the world, it may already be 2026. So let me just say to really all of you, Happy New Year, happy early New Year. This has been the biggest year yet for the channel. Of course, the channel is only a small part of what I do here. Of course, I've been doing the podcast for 18 years. But the channel has been building each and every year. We're, of course, less than 300 subs away from 90,000, which we will hit next month, hopefully. And that's all because of you guys. So I want to thank you for another kick-ass year. And here's hopefully the bigger and better for you and for me in 2026. How's that? How's that for a New Year's resolution? We'll keep it very simple. We're going to have an even better year than we had this year. Fuck 2025. It's over. It's in the rear view, almost. And we look ahead. But on the subject of this Dynamite show tonight, you know, Mercedes Mone has been the TBS champion for 585 days. She has been the champion for a very long time. And the downfall began a little while ago. And I told you guys months ago what I thought the vision was for this story. And so far, it's been playing out pretty much the way that I expected it to. Even though everybody was freaking out about all the different belts that this woman is running around with, and she still has a lot of them. But she lost the Ring of Honor television title to Red Velvet. There was the Rev Pro Championship a few weeks ago that she lost over in the UK to Alex Windsor. And then tonight, she defended the TBS Championship against the very familiar face. It was the woman that she beat to become the TBS champion. Long time ago. I believe it was Double or Nothing, in fact, of 2024. Willow Nightingale, who also happens to be one half of the new AEW Tag Team Champions in the women's division. So they booked this match for tonight. Mercedes and Athena, they were unsuccessful in trying to beat Willow and Harley Cameron at World's End on Saturday. And Mercedes had a gigantic crash out. And she said that she was going to fuck Willow up. And they made this match for the New Year's Smash episode of Dynamite. And I'm looking at this and I'm just thinking, you know, it would make sense to hold off on her losing the TBS championship until she has lost all of these other independent titles that she's running around with. And then she could drop the TBS title. And that's kind of where I thought, okay, it makes sense for it to kind of happen that way. But I knew there was a chance that they could do a title change tonight. I just wasn't really expecting it. Well, they went out there tonight in the main event and they sent this show and really their entire year out with a bang because these two women went out there and they had a pay-per-view quality main event on this show. And when it was over, Willow Nightingale, the woman who lost the TBS championship to her, regained the TBS championship 585 days later. Willow is once again the TBS champion. Now, why they chose to go in this direction, and I love Willow. I think Willow Nightingale is great. And I'm not at all unhappy about the fact that she is the TBS champion. I'm just wondering if this was the plan to put this title back on her. I don't know why then they needed to put the women's tag team titles on her as well, because now she's got 2 belts. And she becomes the first woman in the company to hold 2 different titles, belonging to the same company, which is kind of a weird record. I don't know if that matters to Tony Khan. I guess maybe it does. I don't understand why Willow needed to win the tag team titles with Harley Cameron if she was going to get the TBS title back a few weeks later. That's just weird to me, and it just feels unnecessary. But I don't have an issue with her, once again holding singles gold, because Willow is fucking awesome. And she can go out there just like Mercedes and have great matches with, almost anybody. So it was a big deal. They treated it like a big deal. And the conglomeration came down. Chris Statlander came down to celebrate. Obviously, her partner, Harley Cameron, came down to the ring when it was over. And there was this big celebration as the crash out continues for Mercedes. The downfall continues. And this is what is going to continue to happen until she has lost all of her gold and she has no more belts left. Then and only then can she begin to climb back into contention for that world title, which of course she's going to win. But that's so long into the future. I mean, honestly, at the earliest, All In at Wembley Stadium next year. Not before that. All In Wembley, yes, I could see her challenging for the women's title and winning it this time. Whether it's from Statlander, I would be very surprised if Chris Statlander is still the champion at that point. But whether it's Statlander, whether it's Jamie Hayter, whether it's Toni Storm, probably Toni Storm, she will win the world title at some point down the road. So we got a great main event tonight. But also on the show tonight, we had a match between Jon Moxley, who of course is the new Continental Champion, him and Josh Alexander. They went out there and they had a good match. Bandito had a match on this show tonight because they're getting him prepped for his match with MJF in a few weeks on January 14th. So he went out there tonight and had a good match with the Beast Mortos. Not a single fucking person in the world thought that Mortos was going to win. And I wish they would do more with him as far as just not beating him every time we see him in one of these situations. Maybe then he'd have some more credibility as much as somebody with, fucking beast mask on his head or bull mask or whatever it is could have credibility. Minotaur, Centaur, I don't know, whatever kind of fucking mask it is. They had a good match. So there were a series of good matches here on the show tonight. MJF also has his Triple B back. The Big Burberry belt is back now. That he's the world champion again, so of course he has to have his own custom title. There was a national title match on this show, with Ricochet defending against Jack Perry. And not much of a match. Not really a whole lot to say about this match. It was interference galore. It was like, whatever. The bigger story, though, has to do with Luchasaurus. Now, when I did my World's End review as part of the podcast on Sunday, and I talked about the pre-show, if you remember, the match on the pre-show was Jet Speed and Jurassic Express against Josh Alexander and The Demand. And Luchasaurus hardly did anything in that match. They did an angle where he was taken to the back, or he was in the back, and then he came out later on, and then he did like 2 moves. And I said it felt to me like they were protecting him because he's legitimately hurt. I don't know what the injury could be, but I said that's a guy who clearly there's something wrong, and they don't want him doing a whole hell of a lot, and I hope I'm wrong. Well, tonight we got our answer because unfortunately, the dinosaur is hurt, which I guess happens when you're 65 million years old. But he is hurt. He is nursing a legitimate injury, and wouldn't you know, it is a shoulder injury. So they did an angle with him tonight to write him off of television, but it is a shoulder injury, and that is according to Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful. Now, this comes only hours after Sean posted a news update on Fightful that Michin over in WWE apparently got hurt on their holiday tour this week. Michin, who is scheduled, or was scheduled, I guess, to wrestle Jade Cargill in a non-title match on that first 3-hour SmackDown coming up on Friday. It looks like that match is out the window now. She also got hurt. She hurt her shoulder. And we don't know the severity or the extent of the injury, but if she hurt her shoulder, it's safe to say she's probably not wrestling on Friday. And, I've talked about this recently, this plague, primarily in WWE, but this plague of shoulder injuries. I call it the shoulder demon. The shoulder demon has been very busy this year. And not even this year. It's like the last 6 months, 5 or 6 months. And in just the last like half of the year, we've had, there were so many names when I listed them out on Twitter. I was like, did I miss anybody? Because I thought maybe I missed somebody. Seth Rollins, right? Obviously, he lost the World Heavyweight Championship because of a shoulder injury. Seth Rollins, Chad Gable, Liv Morgan, Sheamus, who we just learned underwent shoulder surgery, so we're not going to see him for a while. He was in Birmingham. Penta, thankfully it wasn't too serious. Penta just came back. He only missed, 5 weeks maybe? But Penta had a shoulder injury. It deprived us of a Lucha Brothers reunion a couple weeks ago at the AAA show. Dominic Mysterio, out with a shoulder injury that he sustained at the AAA show that Penta was supposed to wrestle on. In fact, the match that Penta interfered in and got involved in was the match where Dom hurt his shoulder. Thankfully, he dodged a bullet, and it sounds like he's not going to need surgery, and we should have Dom back on television within about 4 weeks. He'll be back in time for the Rumble, so that's good news. But he's out right now because of his shoulder injury. And now we find out, of course, about Michin. And now we find out about Luchasaurus. Apparently, the shoulder demon is a free agent. He's not bound by any contract or any kind of non-compete, and he can bounce around from promotion to promotion as needed. So now he has jumped ship to AEW, and the shoulder demon is now affecting people in this company as well. I don't know what it is specifically about the shoulder, but this has been a real problem here for the last few months. And so now, unfortunately for Jack Perry, after this big Jurassic Express reunion after so many years, it looks like he's basically back to the singles ranks again. But anyway, we'll talk about this whole show, but also go in and out here with your messages as we count down to the new year, and keep me posted in the chat in case I lose myself here. I want to make sure I don't miss the midnight countdown here. But again, for those of you joining late, I thank you for hanging out with me here on New Year's Eve, as we do every year on the channel. If you are new here, hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button as well. The minimum number I want to hit tonight live is 400. We almost always exceed that, but hopefully tonight we will not. Although, again, there's going to be a lot of people who are not here that usually are here because they are elsewhere. Super chats are open. I will be reading your messages, so please get them on in. And, of course, your support is always appreciated. But let's, as far as Dynamite goes, let's take it to the top. And we'll start there. Jay White, by the way, somebody mentioned Jay White. Was it a shoulder injury with Jay White, I thought? Or am I thinking of the foot injury? Okay, maybe I'm thinking of the foot injury. You know what? You may be right. I think Jay White also, the most recent injury with him, I believe was a shoulder. I believe you're right. Yes, the shoulder demon is the forbidden door, says Michael. Yes. Unfortunately. Oh, by the way, for those of you who joined last year on the New Year's Eve stream, this was a big hit, so I decided to bring it back out. This is my, I don't even know what you would call this. This is not really a kazoo. Just makes a funny noise. I was at a party store last year, and I said, man, it says Happy New Year on here. But I said, hey, let's bring it back. So there you go. We'll leave that honker over there. The brand new AEW World Champion, MJF, he was out to the ring to open the show tonight with his new head of hair, which looks very different than the last time we saw him on TV. Air horn. I guess it would be an air horn, right? Yeah, all right. This is our air horn. I mean, it's not like the air horn. That's an air horn. I got that on lock. But yeah, we'll go back to this after a while. Yeah, see, Jay White, somebody said hand injury. I'm not sure if it was shoulder. It might have been hand. He's also, I mean, him and Wardlow and Adam Cole these last few years, man, I call them the terrible triad because it's just those three guys in particular have just been besieged by injuries. I would throw Keith Lee in there, but he's just been injured almost his entire career in this company. But anyway, so MJF was out to the ring to open the show. He said Swerve Strickland is the franchise, Samoa Joe is the Samoan submission machine, Hangman Page is the main character. All three men that he beat on Saturday. He said that's cute, but he's MJF, the AEW World Champion. So he took the AEW title and he chucked it out of the ring. Just threw it outside the ring. And Tony Schiavone lost his shit. He was very outraged by this. So in the ring, they had a display stand, and clearly there was a belt under a tarp. Gee, I wonder what's underneath the cloth. Tony Schiavone's like, yeah, why is he throwing the belt out of the ring? Oh, gee, Tony, I don't know. I can't figure it out. So he pulls the tarp off to reveal, of course, the Triple B. Or I guess he said the new and improved Triple B, which just looks a lot like the old Triple B. The big Burberry belt that he had during his first run as champion, it is back. And he said, you either step up or you get stepped on. Called himself a stallion. Said that he's done slow trotting around so the donkeys in the back can keep up. From now on, it's a sprint, and no one is going to catch him, as he's going to go down as the greatest of all time. So Kenny Omega appears on the big screen from, I guess, his home. Said that he's sorry to interrupt. Said that MJF made him feel a certain way. He made him feel a certain way. But he made him feel like the old Kenny Omega is reaching the end of his career more than he is the beginning of it. Which is a stone that he hates leaving unturned because it makes him think, what if? What if he can become the AEW World Champion again? What if they met in the ring today and not like they did the last time, which was a collision match when MJF beat him? Actually, that was the match where MJF became the longest reigning champion in AEW history. He goes, it wouldn't be MJF against the cleaner or the best bout machine or the belt collector. He said that he's not collecting belts, he's going for one. And whether it's next week or if he has to claw his way to a title shot, MJF is going to be seeing a lot more of him. And then he bid us adieu, and that was the last we heard or saw of Kenny Omega on this show. So in the ring, MJF said that the dumb schmuck fans chanting Omega's name, they could do that all they want to, but Omega was not man enough to come out and say it to his face. So then we see in the crowd, different parts of the crowd, Hangman Adam Page is there. He's got a chain. Swerve Strickland is there. He's got Tuxedo T Servo. My goodness. He didn't bring a chain. He brought Asuka with him. Thank you, Tuxedo. That gets us up to 3 out of 15 on the bonus super chat goal tonight. Thank you, brother. And Happy New Year. And by the way, thank you to Devils fan Brodeur for 5. That's right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 channel memberships. Yeah. How about that? Congrats to all the new channel members. Thank you to Devils fan. You're awesome. So here come Hangman and here comes Hangman and Swerve. And they head to ringside. They get held back by security. MJF tells them to relax. He's a professional wrestler who believes wins and losses matter. And he said if they start winning matches, they can talk to Tony Khan and he'll whip both their asses like he did at World's End. And he quickly escapes into the crowd because they were able to, I know this is going to be a shock to all of you, but they were able to bust through the security geeks at ringside and get into the ring. And by this point, MJF was already halfway out of town. So he was gone at that point. But then Hangman and Swerve, they're beating up the security geeks. At one point, they each grabbed the end of the chain, like one chain, and they used it to clothesline some security geeks. And then they power bombed them. Actually, it was a double power bomb. And then we got the assisted buckshot lariat where he actually rolled off of Swerve's back into the buckshot. And then that guy got a house call kick. I'm telling you, these two would make a great tag team if they wanted to go after the tag team titles. So Hangman took the mic and said that when he gets a hold of MJF, he's going to strangle him with his ugly ass belt. Swerve said that MJF better pray that Hangman gets to him before he does. Says the hunt is on and may the worst man win. Then Samoa Joe popped up with the Ops on the big screen. And he said they deserve nothing. Joe said that he deserves to be the number one contender. He has the answer for the obstacles that are in his way. Hangman and Swerve had the audacity to put their hands on Hook, the greatest second-generation wrestler of all time. And as he said this, Hook ate a potato chip, because that's just what he does. So he said that he has ordered Hook, if he finds them, to drop them on sight, choke them out. Hobbs is coming for Swerve, while Hook is targeting Hangman next week. And Hangman said that it's New Year's same dumbass, and he begs Joe, please, I beg of you, send Hook. And Strickland said next week it's going to be a tag team match, no holds barred, lights out. And then we got the announcement a little while after that Tony Khan made it official that we will have a lights out match on Dynamite next week. That'll be the first Dynamite of the new year. As I said on the Sound Off this past weekend, MJF winning the title at World's End, the right decision to make. And he's got several challengers already lined up. We already know he's got the match with Bandito in 2 weeks. So he'll beat Bandito. That'll be on the January 14th episode. But I mentioned you got Hangman, you got Swerve, you got Darby, who obviously has, history with MJF. And I specifically mentioned Kenny Omega, and I said, maybe this is what Omega was referring to last week when he told the Young Bucks, all right, you guys are going to be out for a little bit. You're not cleared. You know what? There's something I've been meaning to do. And I'm like, well, what does he mean by that? And over the weekend, I said, well, maybe this is what he was talking about. Maybe what he's talking about is I got to get my ass back in contention for the world title. Now we have our answer. And that's great because he's really been phased down as far as like a singles star in the last few months. It'll be nice, assuming he's healthy enough, to kind of get back into the swing of things on his own and start wrestling. He doesn't have to wrestle every week on TV, but it would be nice to get an Omega match every now and then on TV and then get some big pay-per-view matches out of him. And so I don't know if they're going to build to him as the first challenger after Bandito and do this at Revolution. It's kind of what it felt like to me, that maybe Omega and MJF is a Revolution match. It could be a double or nothing match. I think there's a story there in, as Omega said, like the climb back to the world title or back into world title contention. So I don't think they need to rush into that match. You could save it, for the spring. But and then there's Will Ospreay, of course. So there's a number of people that MJF, he's all booked up for the next 6 months, at least. So he's got plenty of people to work with. Kyrie is not one of them. Kyrie is not one of them. Although Asuka, I'll tell you what though, Asuka against, oh my God, Asuka against MJF. You know what? That's a match I would actually like to see. I think I have my money on Asuka in that match. We had Timeless Tony Storm, Orange Cassidy, and Roderick Strong against Claudio Castagnoli, Daniel Garcia, and Marina Shafir in what they called a Tornado Trios match. So we got more intergender action here between husband and wife, as we did at the pay-per-view, or as they call it, foreplay. So Shafir in this match, for example, she took Roddy down with a judo throw. Tony was signaling for a giant swing at one point, and Garcia booted her in the face, which got him, honestly, probably got him as much heat as Gunther had coming out on Raw Monday night, which is not really to say that he got nuclear heat, but rather to illustrate that already the bloom is coming off the rose with all this supposed heat that Gunther was going to get for tapping out John Cena. I'm still waiting to see where's all this mega heat that people were saying he was going to get. I don't hear it. Do you hear it? But he got heat for booting her in the face here. So Cassidy flew in with an orange punch, but turned into mother's milk from Shafir. Roddy pulled her off and then dropped his wife with a backbreaker across the knee. Claudio laid out strong and rolled through a top rope crossbody from OC, who countered into a stun dog millionaire. Claudio then took the referee, and that distraction allowed for Wheeler Yuta, who was not in this match, to hang up Cassidy on the top rope, which led to a big uppercut from Claudio, and that won it for the Death Riders. So basically what happened here is they ran back the Mixed Nuts match from World's End. That's basically what they did. They gave us another version of more or less the same match that we got on Saturday, only this time the Death Riders went over. So we got some 50-50 booking here. One win for the good guys and now one win for the bad guys. I don't think we needed to see this match twice. Not that it was a bad match. I just, they just ran the same shit back from Saturday. But I sense we might be getting a singles match soon. I wonder if they are preparing to do an intergender match between Roderick Strong and Marina Shafir. The intergender stuff that they have done so far in these two matches have gotten the biggest reaction of probably anything in the match. Although the stuff with Orange Cassidy and Tony on Saturday got a reaction. But the fans have been into it. So I just wonder if they're actually preparing to do a match between the two of them. I don't know if that's where it's headed or not. Beyond that, I don't know where they're taking this stuff. But pretty much just a retread of what we saw Saturday with a different outcome. So after this, we had the Ring of Honor World Champion and the Dynamite Diamond Ring winner. Finally, somebody else has a diamond ring now. Whoopee. Bandito. He went one-on-one against the Beast Mortos. And right away, the announcers remind us that Bandito has a guaranteed shot at MJF and the AEW World Championship coming his way in 2 weeks at what they're calling the Maximum Carnage episode of Dynamite. So Bandito, he comes out, he has a cape on. And at the beginning of this match here, he used his entrance cape to play bullfighter. And so the Beast Mortos took the bait. He missed some charges, but not the headbutt that put a stop to all the silliness. Mortos then connected with a tornado dive through the ropes to the floor. Back inside, Bandito dodged a charge in the corner, and he sent the Beast outside. He gave Bandito a chance to put his cape back on. And then he came flying off the top with a high crossbody down onto Mortos. His cape actually landed after he did because his cape went flying off. And so the cape landed gently on the ground after Bandito did. And that took us into a commercial break here. So later on in the match, Mortos hit a running crucifix bomb and a pop-up Samoan drop for a 2 count. There was a lariat that turned Bandito inside out. Mortos went for a corkscrew moonsault, but he missed. And Bandito managed to get Mortos up into the X-knee and then followed with the 21-plex for the win. So, it was a good showcase for Bandito because they are prepping him for a world championship match. So it makes sense they would give him something to do here on this show. And look, the Beast Mortos, it's a silly, funny gimmick, but he's actually a really fun wrestler to watch. He just never wins. So it would be nice if, we got to see him on this show and not just on Collision or Ring of Honor. If they could actually feed him, they'll feed the Beast some wins against lower level talent and just let him go out there and smash guys. Even if he just goes in there and loses to like the guys higher up on the card. I just feel like he always loses. And so it's like, all right, as soon as you see him, you already know the outcome of the match. But as far as the match itself, it was a good match. I don't really have much else to say about it. It was a competitive match to a point, but it was a showcase for Bandito. So I'm just looking at the clock here. 46 minutes to go here until we hit the new year. Are you excited? Are you excited? Is tomorrow going to feel any different to you than today? Probably not. Suplexis says that Mortos is booked as strong as Daniel Garcia this year. Is that supposed to be an endorsement? You're not helping his cause here by making the comparison to Daniel Garcia. Renee was backstage with Brody King and Bandito and asked if this win against Mortos gives Bandito momentum. Well, gee, I wonder. No, I think that this win actually is probably going to set him back a little bit, Renee. So he cut a promo in Spanish. I don't know what he said, but he was all fired up when he said it. Brody King said that Bandito is the most wanted. Everyone is gunning for him, and in 2 weeks, he will have an even bigger target on him once he wins the AEW World title and becomes Bandito 2 belts. And when that happens, Brody said that he's getting the first shot. But until then, he's got some business of his own to handle. And even though we were told that Jon Moxley's match was coming up next, they go to the next match, and fucking Lee Johnson is in the ring. And I'm like, okay, I guess plans change. And on commentary, they said, well, sometimes we get a standby match here on the show. Like they had extra time to fill all of a sudden. So it was Brody King against Lee Johnson. And what we got here was a good old-fashioned squash match. Before Brody even got into the ring, Johnson hit a dive out onto him. All that did was piss him off. So he demolished Johnson. Inside the ring, Johnson got turned inside out with a massive lariat and then the big cannonball in the corner that led to a gonzo bomb for the win. So not a good night for Lee Johnson. We got a video promo from Darby Allin, who was outdoors somewhere sitting in front of a fire. At least he wasn't on fire. And he was talking about going to hell with Gabe Kidd at World's End. He says, I'm not numb to the pain. Because, in fact, I'm probably more aware of it than anyone. And he wishes that he could relay the beauty that pain gives him. In 2025, he stood atop Mount Everest. And in 2026, he wants to stand atop AEW. But not before he can defeat all of the Death Riders. Because he says he's beaten them all. Except for one. And that one that he has yet to beat is Pac. He doesn't know when or where, but he needs to get that win to finally put an end to this so that he can set himself free. Pac, by the way, again, was not on the show. He was not there on Saturday. He was not on the show tonight either. And I have no idea why. I don't know if he went back home. I don't think he's hurt. But he just hasn't been there the last couple of shows. And I don't know when we're going to see him again. Doesn't really feel like Moxley is leaving the Death Riders anytime soon, does it? Yeah, when you have Darby cutting promos saying, I've beaten all the Death Riders. They've all been losers to me, except this one guy, and that guy is Pac. It's like, okay, well, I guess a turn on Moxley right now really doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So, yeah, I don't get the sense that it certainly didn't happen tonight. It didn't happen on Saturday. It didn't happen tonight. And I did not get any impression whatsoever that it's coming anytime soon. There's been no hint of anything. There's been no tease of anything. There's been no crooked look that anybody has given him. There's been no comment under someone's breath. The Death Riders are all aligned. They're all on the same page, and I guess everything is copacetic, and we're just waiting for Pac to come back. So there you go. Because Moxley has lost to Darby just like all the rest of them have. What the fuck are they going to attack Moxley for? He's the only one with a belt, I guess, other than Claudio. He's got the CMLL belt. Why would you kick out the one guy who actually has an AEW title in your group? It's like now they can't kick him out. It wouldn't make any sense. They're only in the third inning, yes. Oh, we're only in the third inning of this game. We got a Continental title eliminator match with Jon Moxley, the new champion, facing Josh Alexander. But before I get to that, we're going to bounce back and forth here. God, this woman is on something tonight. This woman is on something tonight. My goodness. I want to just shout out who is this right here? That was one of our new members. Oh, man. Scrolling back here. I want to make sure there was someone that dropped something before. I mean, I'll get to all of them later. Eat your heart out, Ryan Seacrest. Brooklyn Nomad, thank you. That's right. That's right, Ryan Seacrest. You can't have all the jobs. You've got to give them to some other people as well. You can't hog them all up for yourself. So let's talk about this match here. Josh Alexander taking on the new Continental Champion, Jon Moxley. there is a new wrinkle to these eliminator matches. And now they all have 20-minute time limits. That's not like a new thing. But the wrinkle to it now is that if you go to a 20-minute draw, it is as good as winning the match. Because if you win the match, then you get a title shot against the person that you just beat, which, by the way, these eliminator matches are very dumb. They are very stupid, but they continue to do them, where you have to wrestle the champion and then beat the champion to get a title shot, so that you have to wrestle the champion for a second time. That is how they do things now. Again, the rankings they got rid of a long time ago, but this is how they build up number one contenders, by putting them in the ring with the champion and having them beat the champion to then get a rematch with the champion for the title. So I just think it's just a dumb way of doing it. But now this is even dumber now, because what they have essentially turned these eliminator matches into are these dumb WWE beat the clock challenges. That's basically all they are now. Now, instead of 5 minutes, which is what you would get with the beat the clock shit, it's 20 minutes. But if you can last 20 minutes, then you get a championship match. So this is now AEW's version of beat the clock. And you know how I feel about beat the clock. So that's the new wrinkle in things. Moxley came over the barricade through the crowd, and he kind of feigned that he almost slipped and fell. He was wincing from the ankle that was worked over at World's End on Saturday. So continuing to sell the bad leg from the match with Fletcher and then the match with Okada. And Alexander attacked him at the bell, immediately was wrenching at the mouth, and they pointed out that Moxley broke his tooth in the match. You know, it's such a strange thing, because we see all of the abuse that Moxley puts himself through, right, in these matches. And he's always bleeding and taking forks to the head and barbed wire and just all this nonsense and all these weapon shots. And of all things, if you saw how he broke his tooth during the match with Fletcher, I think it was the first match, like he was wedged in between, he was like by the ring steps outside. And then he just sort of fell, and he just so happened to land, I guess, tooth first, like right on top of the ring steps. And it wasn't even like he got picked up and dropped, like, you know, face down. It didn't look like anything really out of the ordinary. So it was like the most, what looked like the most minor spot of the entire match. And the guy's walking around with a tooth that looks like it's split right down the middle. So anyway, they pointed that out as he was wrenching at Moxley's mouth. Alexander shot a single leg. He targeted the bad wheel. Moxley went to the eyes until he got backdropped over the top to the floor. So it was all Alexander during the commercial break. And when things came back, Moxley, he briefly got a rear naked choke. Alexander slid out into an ankle lock. Moxley teased tapping out, but he made the ropes, rolled out to the apron. Alexander went out with him, and they were trading suplex and pile driver attempts until Alexander slipped behind and Moxley's leg got kicked out. And Alexander hit a World's Strongest Slam on the apron. So back inside, Alexander missed a moonsault. Moxley missed a paradigm shift. He fired off a cutter for a 2 count. Then he sank in a bulldog choke, which Alexander countered into a back suplex. So Moxley popped up, and he delivered a backdrop driver. He turned Alexander inside out with a lariat. Both men are down. Now, the crowd is really behind Jon Moxley here in this match, as they were on Saturday, because he's a babyface now, or a tweener at the very least. Alexander posted the bad leg before sinking in the figure 4 around the ring post, but he had to let go. And then he hit a huge diving knee drop to the leg back inside. And while wrenching at the ankle, Moxley raked the eyes. He pulled Alexander into the choke before firing off some anvil elbows. And he knocked Alexander's headgear off. He was bleeding from the head. I didn't see exactly how it happened, but he had a fair amount of blood actually coming from his the forehead or the top of the head. Alexander did. And he ended up in the choke, and he passed out in the rear naked choke. So Jon Moxley defeats Josh Alexander in what was a good match. And again, Moxley's here playing the role of babyface in peril for the fans to cheer as he's selling the bad leg and trying to make this triumphant comeback. And then in the end, he does. So it was a good wrestling match, but, it's just weird how he's still part of a group that the people boo. Like, we had this mixed nuts rematch earlier in the night with the Death Riders, who were clearly the heels. But Moxley, for whatever reason, this story they've told with him, where he has been taking, he took a lot of losses in recent months, and he was teasing tapping out. He was tapping out. He tapped out to Hangman, and then to Darby, and then to Kyle O'Reilly. And he started cutting all these babyface promos in the Continental Classic, and the fans just took to him as a babyface. I don't know how long they're going to keep this dynamic up for. I don't know if the idea is to slowly turn the rest of the Death Riders into, again, if not baby faces, more of a tweener faction that at least doesn't go around trying to murder people with plastic bags. If that's the plan, or if they have something else in mind. And what they plan to do with Pac when he comes back. Because again, right now, it looks like the idea of Moxley no longer being associated with the Death Riders, that ain't going to happen. The Death Riders are locked in step, together, and where one goes, the others go. Whether that's as good guys or bad guys, I don't know. Best I could say is at least they don't have a stranglehold on the world title anymore. At least that's something. But after the match was over, we weren't done yet, because MVP and Shelton Benjamin, they come sauntering out. They strolled out onto the stage here, and they are staring down Moxley from afar. And we are reminded on commentary that Benjamin came awfully close to making it to the semifinals in the Continental Classic last year. So now we know, it was made official later on, Moxley and Shelton, they're going to have an eliminator match next week on Dynamite. They're going to go one-on-one, which, again, is a match. Sounds like a really good match. And maybe that'll go to a time limit draw, and then that way they don't need him to beat the champion just to wrestle him again. If they go to a draw, he'll get a title match out of it, because that's the new rule. And I don't mind Shelton Benjamin being involved with a championship, because Shelton Benjamin is fucking great. And my concern was Bobby Lashley is done. Bobby Lashley is hurt bad enough that apparently he is gone for months. So we're not going to see him for a while. It would be very easy for Shelton to end up on the back burner and getting a random match here and there on Collision. He's too good for that. So I'd like to see him still be involved in the mix, whether it's with the Continental title, if it's with the National title or the TNT title against Mark Briscoe, or something that has some sort of significance here on this show. So if he's going to be involved in this, then that's good. I'd rather that than just him not being on the show at all. But then later in the show, in the back, we had a Death Riders promo. They were all together. And Jon Moxley said that Shelton and the people who hurt people, you don't have to come out to look at me like you feel some kind of way. I'm easy to find. So then Wheeler Yuta spoke up, and he said that Darby Allin, if you want to get to Pac, you've got to go through me. He says if you want to get to Pac, you've got to get through me. Where is it? There's a very appropriate. Do I have it here? I don't have it. I was gonna hit my my laugh track, because that's the first thing I thought of when I was listening to him talk here. You got to go through Wheeler Yuta if you want to get to Pac. Okay, no problem. So they're going to have that match, I think they said, on Collision. It's such a big match, they're going to blow through it on Collision. So Darby will get his win over Wheeler Yuta on that show. I mean, like, I heard this and I'm like, is this supposed to be some kind of threat? So then Daniel Garcia said, it doesn't matter who you are. The Death Riders, it's us against the world in 2026. Yeah, that doesn't sound like Jon Moxley is going anywhere anytime soon with this group. I think that pretty much confirms it. I do have to say this about Jon Moxley, though, and I said this on TNT the other night. Jon Moxley's second half of 2025 was a lot better than his first half. The first half of this year, when he was really in the thick of that world title run and they were killing people, attempting to kill people, kidnapping the Rock and Roll Express and all this goofy bullshit they were doing. Worst pay-per-view main event in AEW history of Revolution with him and Copeland, all this stuff. It was dreadful television. It was just awful. You know, when I talk about the Death Riders and like, oh my God, the Death Riders, like a lot of it has to do with what we got from like January or even the end of last year until he dropped the belt to Hangman in Texas in July. It was awful. Then you would get little beacons of light here and there. Anarchy in the Arena was a lot of fun. Like there were like moments or matches like that here and there. But I just think that like the weekly television with the Death Riders and the music hits and they come out and they got the belt in the briefcase and it's like, it just got to a point where it just, how long are we going to stretch this out for just to get to the big moment, right? You knew the big moment was going to come, whether it was Hangman or Ospreay or Darby or whoever it was going to be. But it's like, oh my God, this is just dreadful. In the second half of the year, though, right, the world title, they were away from the world title, and Moxley was losing to this guy. He was losing to that guy. The blood and guts match stuff, the stuff with Kyle O'Reilly, again, where he's like teasing, he's just like deathly afraid of tapping out to him the way that he did to Darby. And they were telling a story with him. And then he has this Continental Classic, and then, of course, he has that match with Fletcher on Saturday, which was the match of the tournament. They fucking tore the house down. And so now I reflect back on this year now that it's over in a few minutes, and it's like I can sit here and say that there was a lot more from Jon Moxley in the second half that I either liked or could tolerate a lot better than what we got in the first half, which was just fucking dreadful. And now as we head into the beginning of next year, hopefully what they're going to do with him, I guess, is a babyface. Hopefully that will make for good television. Week to week, that's all I ask. Just give us good television. We don't get enough story told with the Death Riders, though, as far as like interactions, conversations between them, like, you know, backstage, on screen. I know they do some social media stuff every now and then. I think it would be nice to have some of that featured on the actual television show, but they don't do that. You know, they come through the crowd and you'll get these promos like from Moxley where they're standing behind him and he's talking at us. He's talking to us. Not so much interacting with the other members and kind of trying to flesh out the relationships between the different members of the group. I know some people are going to say, oh, that's a WWE thing. No, it's character building and storytelling is what it is. And I think it's okay, you know, to do some of that with the Death Riders. That's just something that they really haven't done a lot of. If that bothers you or offends you, I'm sorry. Happy New Year. Let's do a countdown clock check here. What time is it? What time is it? It's 27 minutes until midnight. We are less than half an hour away. Look at that. Marina Shafir is the Solo Sikoa of the Death Riders. What Solo was to the original Bloodline, sure. She's the silent one. She doesn't say a whole lot. That's about the only comparison between the two that makes sense to me. We had Ricochet out with the Gates of Agony to defend his national championship, because now we have the international title and we have the continental title. Now we have the national title because there's no more unified title. So he's defending the national title against Jungle Jack Perry, who was out with Luchasaurus. Toa Leona and Luchasaurus, they had an early face-off at ringside. Bishop Khan, he tripped up Jack Perry, which allowed Luchasaurus to go at him, but Leona attacked from behind. That distraction, though, gave Ricochet a chance to send Perry outside and hit a dive. So after a break, we were told that Toa Leona had attacked Luchasaurus and took him backstage. Very similar to what happened on the pre-show on Saturday during the 0 hour. So Ricochet wanted Vertigo. Perry floated over, and we got a series of switches that led to a comeback lariat by Perry for a close near fall. Later in the match, Perry signaled for his sacrifice knee. Ricochet, though, took the referee, and that allowed Bishop to trip up Perry, which gave Ricochet a chance to hit the Spirit Gun for the win. So Ricochet retains the national title. After the match was over, Toa Liona, he carries Luchasaurus back out, okay, onto the stage, and is slamming a guardrail, piece of like the guardrail, is slamming it down on top of him. And his left arm is outstretched, and they place the guardrail over Luchasaurus's arm. And at that point, in the ring, Ricochet hits Perry with another spirit gun, this time from behind to the back of the head. So he knocks him out. And he gives the high sign to GOA, like, do it. And so at that point, I think it was Bishop, who takes a steel chair. And while the guardrail is laying down after it was slammed on top of Luchasaurus's left arm, he is repeatedly smacking the guardrail with a steel chair. And Luchasaurus is he's screaming out in agony. And so a bunch of security geeks come out, and of course they get slammed onto the guardrail and in turn on Luchasaurus's arm, and he's screaming more. The match itself, the match was very much hampered by the interference. Constant interference by GOA. Basically ruined the match. I don't have a lot to say about the match itself. As far as Luchasaurus is concerned, again, if you missed the little update here at the beginning, he is hurt. According to Fightful, he has a shoulder injury. I don't know how serious it is, but the fact that they did an angle to write him off of television tells me that he is going to be gone for some length of time. Whether that means surgery or not, I don't know. And it's too bad because they reunited, Jurassic Express a few months ago, not that long ago. And now all of a sudden he's out again. I mean, he had those very serious health issues where he almost died, and he missed a very long time and came back. And, I wouldn't say he's done a lot since he came back, but they just reunited these two. And so all of a sudden, Jack Perry is back to being a singles, and I guess whatever plans Tony Khan may have had for them in the tag team division, now that goes on the back burner. So all the best to Luchasaurus. I mean, again, we don't know how serious it is, but hopefully he's not gone for 6 months, or anything like that. Or Asuka is going to get very upset if that's the case. She's a big Luchasaurus fan. Yes, unfortunately, Wardlow does have company. I don't know what it is with the shoulders. I really don't. It's just this plague on wrestling. And we go through these phases where you hear about a lot of like ACL injuries. But lately it's like, or maybe neck injuries, and lately it's shoulders. What is different now that wasn't the case a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, where we're reading about like half a dozen different reports over a period of a few months of shoulder injuries, some of which are serious enough to keep people out for months and have them undergo surgery. I don't know what the difference is now. Very strange. Renee was backstage with MJF asking, how does it feel to have all of these contenders locked in on your AEW World title? MJF said that he's about to make his first title reign look short in comparison to this one. So Brodito walked in, and Brody King said that Bandito will make that Triple B Bandito's big belt. And then they did their little handshake and the gun salute, and then off they went. Isn't that very similar to what the Gun Club does? With the whole like gun salute? I don't know, but that was the end of that segment. MJF did not do anything dastardly to Bandito. Maybe they're saving that for next week. And then they closed the show and their year with the TBS championship on the line. Mercedes Mone defending against the former champion and one half of the women's tag team champions, Willow Nightingale. These two have had matches in the past, and they work very well together. I mean, obviously, the first match they ever had is the one in, what was it, New Japan, where, oh God, I remember where they were working. It must have been, had to be one of the New Japan shows out in California, I think. But that was the match where Mercedes got hurt. Actually, no, that would have been the match where, I guess, where they crowned the first ever, God, was it the New Japan Strong Women's Champion? I believe it was. And it was going to be Mercedes. But she got hurt during that match. But then the last match they had was really good. So, as far as the match, I was looking forward to it. I just was not expecting the title change to take place tonight. So she doesn't have as many men holding her titles as she walks down to the ring. There's still a lot of belts, but she shed a few recently. So Justin Roberts did the big fight introductions for this. Mercedes immediately hit a series of low drop kicks that sent Willow outside. And Mercedes opted to do her little CEO dance outside before going for a Meteora up against the barricade. And that was a mistake because Willow moved and her knees went directly into the barricade. And then she launched Monet into the railing with a pounce. So back inside, Willow cartwheeled out of the corner, hit an overhand chop and shotgun drop kick off the middle rope. There was a big cannonball in the corner, and then Monet rolled outside where Willow caught her with a cannonball off the apron to the floor. So they went to the final commercial break here of the show. Willow tried a spine buster. Monet escaped and then charged, only to be launched with another pounce. Death Valley driver connects. Monet kicks out at 2. There was a backstabber that staggered Willow a little bit. Monet again charged, ran right into a doctor bomb, but she got her foot on the ropes. So Nightingale went up top, missed the moonsault, and that gave Monet a chance to try a frog splash. Willow got her knees up on the landing, though. So they go to the apron. Willow connects with a Death Valley driver, and she drops Mercedes. And it looked more like Mercedes hit the edge of the apron. And then she lands on the floor outside, and her head is underneath the ring skirt. So her head is underneath the ring, and I'm just thinking, man, I could just see her laying underneath the ring. Nobody can see her face, and she's just like, fuck. Because the way she hit the edge of the ring, I'm sure that didn't feel too good. So Nightingale threw her lifeless body into the ring. Monet again rolled outside. So Willow decided, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go for another cannonball off the apron. She went to it one too many times. She came flying off the apron. There was nobody home, and Willow went splat right on the ground. So Monet hit 2 of the 3 amigos on the floor, and Aubrey Edwards is in the ring, and she's counting both women. Willow fought off a 3rd amigo, slammed Monet into the apron. She broke the count to reset the count. Then she goes over and she starts cleaning off the announce desk. So Willow brings Monet up on top of the desk, and Mercedes is begging off here. Willow was going to go for a doctor bomb on top of the desk. Probably would have killed this woman. Monet got free, and she ended up hitting a 3rd suplex on the table, but the table did not break. And so Willow, she landed hard, and she kind of bounced off the table, landed on the floor. Aubrey is putting the count on both women, and Willow ended up breaking the count just at the 9 count, like almost 10. So both women are trading pin attempts. Monet tried for a statement maker. Willow powered to her feet, and Monet tried the Monet maker, but she got smashed into the corner repeatedly. Mercedes got a jackknife pin. Willow, I thought she was going to bridge out of it. She didn't bridge out of it. Instead, she rolled over, and she just transitioned like smoothly into position for a doctor bomb. And she got Mercedes up for it. She dropped her with the doctor bomb, and she got the 1, 2, 3. And after 585 days, Willow Nightingale has ended the TBS title reign, the longest reign in AEW history with that belt of Mercedes Mone, the woman who beat her for it. She got her belt back. And now she has 2 titles instead of 1. So after the match, purple confetti is raining down. Harley Cameron runs out to celebrate with her partner. Orange Cassidy and Jet Speed, they rush down to the ring to celebrate and hug Willow. And Chris Statlander is in the ring. They're like, oh, Chris Statlander's in the ring. So we have a little face-off between the two, right? These 2 friends or former friends. And of course, they end up, everyone's saying hug it out. They end up hugging. So Statlander, she's wearing a jacket. So she opens her jacket to show off her world title. Willow has her 2 titles. Mercedes is outside looking very dejected. And that is the parting scene here on the final episode of Dynamite here in 2025. It is a big celebration for Willow Nightingale. I knew there was a chance that this would happen, but I didn't think that it would. I thought they were going to wait until she dropped most or all of the other belts that she had, and then they were going to go ahead and do this. Now, when you think about it, and maybe this was their logic, she still has a lot of belts. And she's going to be doing a lot of traveling in 2026, and she's going to go to these different promotions. She may not even lose each of those titles the next time she goes to each one. She may have a successful defense here and a successful defense there, and then come back and lose the belt. So without knowing, because I'm sure Tony Khan, he may have in his head knew, okay, Willow is going to be the one that I want this belt back on eventually, and we're going to do it at the end of the year. He may have had all of this mapped out. What he does not have mapped out, because despite what other people may tell you, he does not control the booking in any of these independent promotions, is when this woman is going to necessarily lose each and every single one of these other titles. So instead of waiting for her to do so, which could take months, he decided, you know what? We're going to change the title now. And if that's the case, I can understand it, because then the title is not in this state of sort of arrested development where, you know, you're kind of handcuffed because Mercedes has beaten almost everybody else. So what is she going to do? She's had it for 585 days. Does she hold it for another 100, another 200, 300 days? Is she going to reign with this belt the way that Athena has reigned with the Ring of Honor women's belt? Like, at some point, this shit has to come to an end. You know, whether you put the belt back on Willow or you try to get somebody new over, which is what I thought maybe they were going to try to do. Instead of putting it on like an obvious name, maybe they could have built somebody up. The name I threw out there was Queen Aminata, you know, and she was starting to build up some momentum before she got hurt. Now she's hurt. She has a neck injury. I don't know how long she'll be out for. She was going to be in Blood and Guts. So maybe they were going to go with her. But you know what? I don't have an issue with Willow being the one. It's just I don't understand why then, if you knew this was the plan, why does she need two belts? Now, like, why did they need to win the tag team titles if, let's say, Tony Khan had this all mapped out? And I believe he had it mapped out at least for a couple of months. Maybe he didn't know at the beginning of all this that Willow was going to be the one to get the belt back at the end of all this. But they only won the women's tag belts like a month ago. I don't understand why she had to win that if you knew you were going to put this belt on her. That's just, I don't know. It seems unnecessary to me. We are going from one woman who had multiple championships, and now we have another woman who has multiple championships. And it's like, all right, we have Bandito talking about he's going to be Bandito 2 belts. I mean, when did this become a regular thing where everybody has to have multiple belts? Like, it should be reserved as a special thing for like one person every few years, that they walk around with multiple championships. When you have multiple people who walk around with multiple championships, it loses a little bit of luster. But these two women went out there. They had a pay-per-view caliber main event here on this show. They killed it. And I thought this match was a hell of a way for them to close out their 2025. Take a look at the Twitter poll. See if you guys chimed in here with your thoughts. What did you think of the final Dynamite of the year? 61.6% thumbs up for tonight's show. 17.4% thumbs in the middle. And about 21% thumbs down. And those are the poll results so far. As we count down, we got about 15 minutes. Oh, even less. Look at that. 12 minutes to go. We have 12 minutes until we get to the new year. Yes, I agree. No, Bandito is not getting a second belt. But even just teasing it. Even just teasing Bandito 2 belts. Yes, I did not mean to imply that I thought Bandito's actually going to beat MJF. There's a better chance of me beating MJF to become the AEW World Champion than Bandito in a few weeks. All right, so we got about 11 minutes to go. We'll break into some of your super chats and questions and comments here. We'll go back and forth so we don't miss the big countdown here. Certainly don't want to do that. So if you're drinking tonight, you gotta get your champagne, or maybe you got a little bit of the bubbly, or you got some, I don't know, Zima. What do people drink nowadays? Mike's Hard Lemonade. Jack and Coke, Bud Light, a Real American beer. Don't drink the Real American beer. Stone Cold IPA, whatever it may be, get it ready. Doc's in the Central Time Zone. All right, so we got people also on the West Coast. So it's not going to be New Year's for them for a few more hours. That's okay. You can pretend. When we hit midnight here, you can pretend. Tone VC says, Gentleman Jack, neat. That works. Blue Moon. All right. We got some variety here. Drink milk, like Kurt Angle, says Blissfan. Hey, shout out to Venom. Happy New Year, Venom. He's out in the desert. He's out in Nevada. I thought Zima was still a thing or was making a comeback. Hard black cherry cider. That's interesting. High West Ray whiskey. Look at this guy. Sparkling water. Street Fighter says, I'll have my sparkling water. Because I'm fancy. Cannabis. Not exactly a beverage, but okay. Whatever works for you. Hey, Joseph Stewart, I don't think he's with us live. Today is actually Joseph Stewart's birthday. And so, obviously, he's been a big supporter these last few months. So wherever he may be right now, let us all wish him a very happy birthday. Happy birthday, Joseph. I hope you have a very good 2026. Chozo Warrior. What's going on, man? Shout out to you as well. By the way, on the WWE Vault channel, they uploaded a almost 30-minute Ultimate Warrior rare footage compilation, which is actually pretty entertaining to go watch. If you're into that kind of stuff, they actually have backstage, never before seen, like not even bloopers, but just like from the filming of some of the vignettes with him and Jake Roberts. Like, I love shit like that. Like, to me, when this Vault channel first launched, like, that's the kind of shit that I wanted to see more of, so. Have I ever had sake? Well, yes, I've had sake bombs, and they've fucked me up quite a bit, but that was many years ago. Not recently. I haven't had sake recently. Pepsi Clear. Why does that evil still exist? Well, your first mistake was drinking Pepsi. What is the worst match of 2025? Brock Lesnar and John Cena, WrestlePalooza. There's your worst match. Hey, David Rice. Activated Super Cena with a... Did I have Zima with my club shirt? No, I've never had Zima in my life. I wouldn't be caught dead drinking Zima. Might be a good wrestler name, but not something I would ever drink. Pepsi is sweeter than Coke and therefore better? Yeah, but it doesn't taste as good, though. Crystal Pepsi was a recipe for diabetes. Is AEW still a company in 3 years? Yes. Come on, don't ask dumb questions. They got enough money behind it. It ain't going nowhere for a while. All right, 6 minutes to go. Let me take a look at some of these. Joseph, I promise you, brother, I'm going to run through yours here in a little bit. Base Beerus, shout out to Joe Stew. I don't know who Joe Stew is, but shout out to him. Phil says, what the fuck? Mercedes actually lost. Was not expecting that. Also, Wheeler Yuta sucks. Duff's Vids, what's the dinosaur's least favorite reindeer? Comet. Did you hear the news that 6 scientists died? They mixed the DNA of a crab and a cheetah. Things went sideways real fast. How do you cancel an appointment with the sperm bank? You call them and say, I can't come. Finally, I was waiting. It's like a drought. And you finally got a good one there. Now that's a bank I have not been to. Maybe you have. The Bearded Elf, 69. Been a fan for a couple of years. First time writing on here. Hope your New Year's Eve is going well. My question is, if Owen Hart did not pass away and did the gimmick that he did, would he have been a future WWE champion? No. Owen Hart was not going to be WWE champion. If Owen Hart was ever going to be WWE champion, he had 2 opportunities for it. One was in 94, where he could have beaten Brett before SummerSlam in that little summer period between King of the Ring when he won and SummerSlam where he lost in the cage. He could have won it, even if it was on like a live event or something. And then it was like, oh, shocking breaking news. You know, Owen beat Brett. Short of that, or when he first came back in 97, when he went after Shawn Michaels. But that was also never realistically going to happen. Like, he was not going to win the world title. Intercontinental, he was going to win that the night he died. But world champion, no. Now, it's funny, if Owen, it's almost as if he was a little ahead of his time in this way. If Owen was still young enough to be active, like really active, during that period in like the mid-2000s where they split the brands and they had 2 world titles, I would have a different answer for you. And I would say, you know what? I could see Owen as a world heavyweight champion. But Owen Hart is the WWF champion at that time that he was active? No, it was never going to happen. Great as he was, they were never going to put the belt on him. All right, so we got the 3-minute warning here. 3-minute warning, and I'm not talking about Jamal and Rosie. It's almost midnight. See, the whole point is to make it till midnight. That's the whole point. We're almost there. Shout out to Falcon Star. He says, ringing in the new year with the monster. That's right. That is right. Happy New Year, Falcon Star. We got Andrew says, eat your heart out, Ryan Seacrest. We got Tay the Savior. Happy New Year, Solo. Cheers to 2026. Happy New Year. Duff's Vids says, I asked a German girl for her phone number, and I'm waiting for the rest. So far, all I have is 9. Thank you, Duff. That, I hate to say it, but that's gonna be the last Duff's joke here of the year before I get to the rest here. I wish you were going out on a higher note, but well, 15 is not exactly a bomb, but that may end up being the last bomb here before we enter 2026. Thank you for that one, brother. We got a little over 60 seconds left to go. Here's my boy Bobby's World. What's going on, Bobby? Happy New Year, Solo and everybody. Yes, Happy New Year, Bobby's World. 1 minute to go. We got 1 minute to go. Am I going to do my predictions for the new year?
Off is a direction you can fuck.
That's right. There you go. I didn't say it. He said it. I didn't say it. I mentioned it on the podcast this weekend, this Sunday. Predictions will be on the podcast this Sunday. So you'll want to tune into that one. That'll be the first show of 2026. We are 30 seconds away. Yes, indeed. Here we go. All excited. All excited. 6 years in a row that I have carried. Oh, my God. Yeah, we had to get one more in. All right, here we go. 10. We got 10 seconds to go. Here we go, everybody. This is it right here. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. And a very happy new year to all of you as I welcome you all to 2026. So, this was a 3D stream. It'll be coming right out at you. That's right. Oh, man. But in all seriousness, cheers to all of you. And a very happy new year.
Happy New Year! 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 Happy New Year, pal!
Happy New Year, pal. Oh, man. I can't believe that we've been doing this for 6 years in a row. And I think it all started with that To Hell with 2020 stream after COVID. It was like, man, we have to end this year like together because everybody was just sort of still locked down at that point. And that's really what sort of was the genesis of all this. And here we are. We're still doing it. I love it. I love it. Look at this. You got a whole confetti bath here just for you guys. Just for you guys. The New Year's baby here. You got everything. You got everything. Oh, man. So now we begin anew. This is officially now the first stream of 2026. We had the final stream of last year, and now we have the first stream of this year. And there'll be many more to come. And hopefully you will spend all of those streams right here with me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And of course for select pay-per-views as well. We flip back over here to your super chats so we can continue to hang out here for a little bit, and I will read your messages here because we got more messages coming in. Hey, Elijah McCovey. Thank you for subbing. I think you are officially the first sub of 2026. Hopefully you will enjoy your stay. But yes, we're up. And the first Bree mode. First Bree mode of the new year. Hopefully wherever you are having a happy new year. Oh, I love it. I love it. Bryant Finley says, Willow winning is a bad decision. Hold on, let me move this up here. Willow winning is a bad decision. Yet another dual champion. She gains nothing from beating Mercedes and no proper build up to it. Athena or Billy Starks would have made much more sense. Yeah, well, I've given up on them getting that other fucking title off Athena. Billy Starks, Billy Starks has not been established on AEW television. So it would almost be like starting from scratch with her. And if that means another 4 months of Mercedes as the champion, then you know what? Probably better to get the belt off of her now. It'll be more important to see ultimately who Willow drops the belt to. Like what I presume heel. I guess it doesn't have to be a heel, but like if they wanted, let's say, to build to Athena finally making it to the AEW roster and dropping the ROH belt and Athena beating Willow, that works too. But, you know, it could be anybody. But we don't need another 500 days, 400 days, 300 days. Like, we don't need that again.
Nick Wayne's mom has got it going on. She's all I want, and I've waited for so long. Nick Wayne, can't you see? Go away and leave me be. I hope she likes this song, cause I'm in love with Nick Wayne's mom.
Nick Wayne's mom has got it going on. Nick Wayne's mom has gotta love this song. Ah, a little musical rendition there to kick off the new year. From Koji, the antagonist, with the $28 super chat. I love it. Sweet velvety tunes of the Solomonster. Michael Miranda here in Arizona. Appreciate you and the content. Says, be safe out there. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Michael. It's not the new year yet for Michael. He's out in Arizona. Fallen Exposure. Thanks for all the work you do. Enjoy a cup of coffee and have a blessed new year. Not a coffee guy, but I will salute you with what I have here, which is not coffee.
My curiosity is killing me just like a cat would be killed by the curiosity, yes.
Bender McSimpson, thank you for that $13 drop. We're actually at 11 out of 15 on the bonus goal. Matt Scales with an Australian 15 says, Happy New Solo. It's 11:46 a.m. on New Year's Day in Oz. Thank you for all your content and the hard work. Well, thank you, Matt. It's a place that I would have loved to have gone to. It seems like a beautiful place, but I can never do it because of all the little creepy crawlies there. It's like every video I see on like IG or TikTok or wherever it may be, like spiders, and I'm like, oh my, like I just cannot deal with that. I don't know. Some of the things I see in these videos from down under, I'm telling you, man. Scares the bejesus out of me. Power Spying Games, 3:48 a.m. in London. Says, I will try to stay awake tonight. Well, I don't know if you made it or not. Hopefully you did. Happy New Year, Power Spying Games. Duff's Vids went to get a prostate exam and asked the doctor where to put my pants. I wasn't expecting him to say, you can put them next to mine. Yikes. Oh, I don't even know how to respond to that. Should probably be reported to the board. Be calm, see clearly. My job talked 27 minutes reckless to me, disrespected me, and they don't know I recorded it, which is legal in Ohio. Labor board, here I come. There you go. See? Gotta go to the board. Yeah, I mean, hell, if it's legal there, that's exactly what I would do. I'm sorry that happened. Tuxedo T Servo with the 15. A safe and happy new year to everyone, including you. Emperor Comet, happy new year to all. I hope whatever struggles everyone had in 2025 stays in 2025. That's a great message. I agree. She has been awfully angry tonight. Robotech Novels, thank you for that 20. BCom says, they treated me like trash. No write-ups, no attendance points. Well, don't sweat it. It's in the past now. You take care of whatever needs to be taken care of and basically just fuck them. It's a brand new year. That's how I look at it. There's Sidro. Took him long enough to show his face. Happy New Year, brother. I hope it's a good one. I hope your health is good to you. I hope life is good to you. And we got 5 gifted memberships here from Twisted Wrister 82. Holy shit. The first gifted subs here of, or not subs, but gifted memberships here of the new year. Thank you, my friend. The Sheriff of Patties, what do you call a cheap circumcision? A ripoff. Duff's Vid says, what do you call a magician that lost his magic? Ian. Oh my God. Where do you come up with these? Jamie Dorsch, all the best in 2026. Solomonster, what is the best and worst Austin Rock match? Well, I mean, the best one, I think it's a pretty consensus pick that the best one is WrestleMania 17. Although I honestly don't think they ever had a bad match. I enjoyed their Backlash match, which was the rematch from WrestleMania 15. Even the WrestleMania 15 matches, it's a good match. But 17 would be the best, and the worst one? You know what the worst one would be? Probably. They had a match on Raw in 90... Not on Raw. They had a match in 97 at the DX In Your House pay-per-view, where Austin never took his vest off until the match was over. It was the one where he backdropped D'Lo Brown onto the windshield of the car at ringside. That wasn't much of a match. I'll call that one the worst. That Ian joke is old. I heard it as a child. Yes, these jokes have been around for ages. So where does he get them from? Before I get too deep into all the newer ones, let me just go back and just zip through the Joseph ones. I don't know if I have answers for all of his questions, but let me at least try to tackle these, and then we'll get back to yours. Again, today is his birthday, so happy birthday to Joseph. And he says, happy heavenly birthday to Val Kilmer. I did not know that. I am not familiar with the Treasure Island movie with Tim Curry. Do I remember the Muppet Babies TV? Oh, yeah. I used to actually watch that sometimes. I still have the jingle in my head for Muppet Babies. Do I remember the Count from Sesame Street? Of course. Avant Natu. Avant Natu Naturi. He says, do you remember Cookie Monster singing C is for... Yes, I do. Do you remember the Bird movie? Yes. Yes, that movie is something I watched as a child. Grouchland? No, I don't remember that one. No, the one from 79, that's a no. Thomas the Train, yes. The Ringo Starr one, no, I'm not familiar with that one. Favorite Jack Nicholson movies? I don't know about 10 of them, but I mean, obviously The Shining is a classic. I wouldn't say that one's my favorite. Actually, him as the Joker in Burton's Batman is pretty goated as far as I'm concerned. Well, then he got like A Few Good Men, and he was in The Departed. Yeah, The Departed. Those are a few. The Irishman. Have I seen it? Yes, I did. I did see The Irishman. Have I seen the Michael Keaton movie Johnny Dangerously? Danny DeVito is in the movie as well. I have not. Yes, thank you for reminding me. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Actually, that one, I might go with that one as my favorite. That's actually a very good movie. It's a very depressing movie, but... did I know... Oh, God.
I'm the learning tree.
Oh, no. He's back.
Thanks, guys.
He's back. Twisted Wrister. with a $12 learning tree. You have to say departed in a Boston accent. Departed. He was in the Departed. You happy now? Did I know Danny DeVito and Jack Nicholson were friends in real life? I'm sure most of those guys were friends in real life. Probably all banging the same women back then. Maybe not Danny DeVito. But like Stallone, Schwarzenegger. The poor Danny DeVito's in the corner. Probably videotaping all of it. Where do you rank the Jack Nicholson and Danny DeVito Hoffa movie in your list of favorite Jack Nicholson movies? It's not one of my favorites. Next year in 2026, Pokemon is going to celebrate its 30th anniversary. Yeah, I'm not a big Pokemon guy. I've told the story of when I was a camp counselor and it was really blowing up. Everybody would bring their Pokemon cards in and I would just confiscate all of them. Like, you're not here to play fucking Pokemon cards. Give me all of your cards. They're not allowed. Those are the rules. You got to enforce the rules. If no one enforces the rules, we have anarchy, and we cannot have anarchy. Or was I a Pokemon fan, and if so, who is your favorite Pokemon? I was not, but if I had to go with one, I'll go with Pikachu. Hey, Jared Ransom. I'm a sound-off superstar. Welcome, Jared. Which wrestler do you think will make a great Jack Nicholson if they made a movie on him? John Moxley, Randy Orton, or Kurt Angle? John Moxley, actually. You know, John Moxley out of those three would probably be my pick. None of them would be a good choice, but if I had to choose between those three, I would go. Kurt Angle would not make a good Jack Nicholson. Did you know Hoffa and Batman Returns came out the same year, and Danny DeVito was in both movies? Did not know that. And Joseph Ends, thank you so much for the birthday wishes. Solomonster and everyone, I really appreciate it so much. Have a blessed, safe, and wonderful new year. You as well, Joseph. You as well, my friend. I wish you all the best. We have Samaj Pendergrass with a $20 super chat. Yes, Sidro makes a good point that supposedly, as of 17 minutes ago, Chris Jericho is a free agent for the first time in, 6 years? Is Paul Levesque already on the phone with him as we speak? Are they having that phone conversation right now? Ironing out the details for Monday in Brooklyn? Is that what's going on? It says, I understand the climate is better for wrestlers in terms of salary and working now, but 15 to 18, I guess he means 2015 to 2018, wrestling truly felt alive. Wrestle Kingdom setting the bar of the wrestling year, Ring of Honor, PWG, the takeovers at NXT, and SmackDown was fire. There was a lot to like about wrestling during those periods, not necessarily in WWE. You know, but look, at that point, New Japan, yeah, they would have been firing on all cylinders back then. That was right in the middle of that Tanahashi and Okada run there for both of them. And Naito. ROH was still its own independent thing. PWG was doing its thing. And the takeovers were fucking amazing. So you're not wrong. Happy New Year, Solo. Love you, brother. What in the world are you wearing? It's called a shirt, Stadium J. Get with the program, brother. You know, when it comes to these special occasions, you can't dress like a fucking slob. Like a lot of other people do on YouTube. I'm no slob. I'm no solo snob. Somebody has to set an example around this freaking vast wasteland here that we stream in. Duff's Vid says, what's a crackhead's favorite song? I Wanna Rock. Thank you, Duff's Vids. Toya, Happy New Year, Solo. All the best in 2026. Same to you, Toya. Smelly Wrestling Geek. Don't forget, MJF has the Hurt Business to think about as well. Yeah, I mean, he really doesn't. Because Bobby Lashley is out. I mean, I guess Shelton could come after him, but I don't see that happening. The story, the match really would have been MJF and Lashley. And Lashley being gone now for however many months, it just... There's no point in it now. Duff's Vid says, how are hillbillies' children taught to wear their underwear? Yellow in the front, brown in the back. Happy New Year, Solo and chat. Happy New Year, Duff's Vids. Spencer Dunnings with the 15. Happy New Year. Sal O the Monster. My God, it's bringing back memories. 2026 will be my 10th year listening to the Sound Off and following all the content on the YouTube channel. Much love and cheers to a great 2026. Fiend. I was going to wish you a Happy New Year, but then you launched into the Fiend there. Gonna have to take that back now. Gonna have to throw you into the interrogation room. That's what I'm gonna have to do. Duff's Vids, what's the best part of having a twin? Spare parts. The Uffman. Basically, Bandito said that he will be the first Mexican-born AEW champion.
Off is a direction you can fuck.
And that was MJF's response to that comment from Bandito. But he says that was the gist of his promo. He was all fired up when he said it. So he said it with great conviction. I didn't know what he was actually saying. But thank you for the translation. Just Cruise. Happy New Year, Solo. Thanks for everything you do. I don't reach out often. Wanted to share my occasional thanks from under the Van Wyck. Your content has been a presence for me for almost a decade. Wishing the best. I wish the best to you. I do not wish the best to the Van Wyck, which I will have to ride the next time I go to the House of Glory show. It's always the bane of my existence. I try to get on that service road as quickly as possible and just ride that all the way down. That's a narrow fucking service road too, but if I can get off by exit 3, I just ride my way the rest of the way to the NYC Arena. I do not like the Van Wyck. Duff's Vids, what do you call a disabled supermodel? Hot Wheels. Hey, Gabriella. Thank you very much. I wish you a very happy new year. Sidro says, did you lift your left leg before the new year? Oh, he was so embarrassed by his own joke, he retracted it before I could finish it. He was so ashamed by his horrible joke that he removed it. He couldn't bear the thought of me reading the rest of it. The Juliet says, here's a Brie mode to get us closer to the 2026 Be the Booker goal. Happy New Year and congrats to Willow for becoming the double champion. Yes. As I mentioned earlier, Willow Nightingale, the new TBS champion. We've got Elijah Davis just saying Happy New Year to everyone. I'm in the middle of a 48-hour shift, so I'm not going home anytime soon. Glad I can ring in the new year here. Wow, that's rough. 48-hour shift is no fun. But I'm glad you could ring the new year in with all of us. I'm very happy about that. We got the Mount Vernon Kid. Christopher Bennett, a 2025 recap here on YouTube. These are my top 5 watch channels. Number 1. Well, I mean, number 1 and number 2 doesn't really matter. Number 3, Cinepals. I'll accept that. Number 4 is the Solomonster Sounds Off. We got to work on that next year. We got to work on getting that up to number 1 in 2026. Number 5, Just Ash. I'll allow Cinepals. You can forget the rest. Paul Carpenter. Happy New Year's. Can I get a happy birthday? Also, my boss won't let me go home to enjoy. Well, you New Year's workers, be safe. Yes, happy birthday, Paul. I don't know what the magic number is, but I hope that this birthday is very good to you. Yeah, nobody should be working 48 hours straight. That should be against the law. And probably in some states it is. Thomas. Solo, I'm drunk. Here's $5. I will take that $5. You won't remember giving it to me, but I will happily accept it. Jane Love. First count of 7,000 for Revolution, 6,000 for Dynasty. I assume that means attendance. That's not bad considering Revolution is still 2.5 months away. In Dynasty, I don't know what is the date of Dynasty. It's got to be in April. So that's not bad. You know, what happens a lot with these AEW shows when they run these venues, they usually do 9, 10, 11,000, but like a week before the show, 10 days before the show, they've got like 6,000. And then all of a sudden there's like this last minute surge and they end up getting to like 8, 9,000, 10,000. That's what happened, I think, when they did Full Gear in New Jersey. And then they're going to be back at Wembley in August. The first Wembley show they did between 70 and 80K. The last one did about 50. This year's Wembley show will not hit 50. It'll be lower again. But the question is, because it's always the law of diminishing returns, but the question is, can they still keep it in that 40 to 50 range? That's the question. Wichita Workhorse. That's my boy Clayton. I know that name. I'm drinking water and broth tonight. Says getting over a bad stomach virus. I'm sorry to hear that. Says I watched 1990 Great American Bash today. I mentioned this the other night on the WWE Vault channel. They have a Golden Era watch party. It's been going on all week. I assume it's going to run probably through the weekend. And, you know, it loops. You know, it's not like it's fresh content for the whole week. I think they've already looped the 1990 Royal Rumble about 15 times, but it's a great Royal Rumble. So if you want something else to watch, go check that out. During Dynamite, I dropped in on it to see what was on. They were showing stuff from WrestleMania 3. David Rice, Happy New Year. Looks like TK still can't book strong coming off a pay-per-view. Well, he has actually said that he intentionally will hold certain people off these shows or not plan like big stuff. This is what he's claimed. Because of Kyrie. Because the guys go so hard on these pay-per-views that he never knows who's going to be healthy enough or medically cleared. Which, you know, I hear that and it's like, well, doesn't that tell you something? Evidently not. You know, he just lets them go out there balls to the wall. But a lot of times then there's people that are not medically cleared to wrestle. And that's a problem when you're trying to book a TV show the following Wednesday. So I get the sense he doesn't plan anything too major because he doesn't know who's going to be available to him. which is a hell of a way to book the post pay-per-view episodes of your TV show, by the way. And Z. Paul Senti. WWE 2K14 Symposium is the most classic drunken mess in WWE history. If Flair were not there, would JR still be at WWE? I don't think he would be by now. He would have been there longer than he was, but at this point, I don't think he would. I don't think he would be there. If it wasn't that, it would have been something else. I think they probably wanted him out of there. Honestly, they were just looking for an excuse to get rid of him. Shawnee in the wrestling. Happy New Year, Solo. Thanks for bringing the best and most consistent part of my, or being the most. He said bringing the best and most consistent part of my week. Here's to the vault, releasing Jake Roberts' DDT on Hogan in 2026. You know, I don't think that we're ever going to see it. I really don't. I was kind of hoping that it would be part of the video they released the other day. They put out a 30-minute compilation of some of the biggest WWE talk show moments. So, of course, the barbershop incident is on there. Piper's Pit, not the one with Snuka, but the one where Andre confronts Hogan and challenges him for WrestleMania. Hey, Metris. Thank you, Metris. I'm going to get to your message. Happy New Year, brother. Oh, my goodness. We got 3 pages of horror. What is the B2B? Somebody let him know what Be the Booker is. And shout out to our good friends at Reality of Wrestling. Happy New Year to all the folks at ROW, Booker T, everybody there. Got a lot of good people there. Even Zilla, our Crown Jewel champion. In House of Glory. An ROW alum. Let me just switch songs here real quick. But yeah, all of the ROW folks, including Brad. Shout out to Brad. I hope you have a very happy New Year, my friend. I hope everything is going well. I know Brad Gilmore is going to blow it up bigger than ever in 2026. Yeah, in that video, no, they didn't include the funeral parlor where Warrior got locked in the casket. They included the one where Jake slammed the lid of the casket on Jake's hand. They included the Brother Love show where Earthquake squashed Hogan. And the Brother Love show where Rick Martel sprayed arrogance in Jake's eyes. There were a lot that there was a lot that got left out. I was kind of hoping, I didn't necessarily expect it, but I was kind of hoping that maybe they would include the Jake Hogan thing from, it had to be filmed in '86. But you know, ever since they released the Bret Hart Tom McGee match, this is now like, this is the one this is the rare footage that everybody is waiting on that I don't know that we're ever going to get to see. Assuming they didn't delete that shit. Vince was like, immediately destroy that footage so that it never sees the light of day. Oh, man. Did they include the one where Brother Love introduced Paul Bear? No. There's a lot that was not included in that. It would have been like a 2-hour video if they included everything in there. We got Boss Toys. With the... Here we go. With the... Man, this list is so long here. Here's to a bigger and better year. And speaking of the new year, Moxley should lock Wheeler Yuta into the briefcase for a few months like he did with the AEW title. I bet he'll even get cheered for it. You know what? Okay. Hey, Sidro and Dubs. How come you're not coming up with jokes like this? That was the best joke yet. You guys are supposed to be the joke experts, and he just beat you with that one joke. I agree, by the way. He should stuff Wheeler Yuta in the briefcase and leave him in there for a few months. Oh, man. He'd be the biggest baby face in the company. Are you kidding me? The D. Harris brand says, nobody, not a soul. And then Bret Hart says in 2025, hey, y'all, Vince and Sean were fucking. Happy 2026. Hey, Bret, look, Bret says what's on his mind. Bobby's World, Happy New Year, Solo, and everybody. Yes, Happy New Year to Bobby's World. Jeremy Rose says, do you think Vince would have fumbled Cena's retirement as bad as Triple H? I know you have much disdain for Vince, but all the BS stuff aside, I think he would have given Cena a better final year, even at his old senile age. I think he would have too, because I think that Vince, we know Vince and Cena are still very good friends. And Vince thinks the world of him. So I actually think he probably would have gotten a better retirement run under Vince than he did under Triple H. With that being said, I'm very happy that Vince was not back to book it because Vince does not need to be back. Tone C says, Happy New Year, Solo. Happy New Year, brother. The Average Grunt. Happy New Year to you as well. Thank you for the Canadian 2. Alex with a 25 says, Brother Solo, here is the first of many Brie modes for you in 2026. Happy New Year, brother, and to everyone here. Well said. Well said. Tuxedo T Servo ring in the new year with Asuka. We have about 15 times tonight. David Rice, thank you. You and JD and Jesse have inspired me to start my own YouTube channel. That's awesome. Just make sure you're starting it for the right reasons. Make sure you're starting it because it is genuinely something that you have a passion to do. And because you think it would be fun and that you are ready to invest the time into it, because without consistent content, it will not work. So just as long as you check all those boxes and you really, you get your mind set on it and you got a battle plan for it, then attack it, man. It's not easy, but it's a grind, but it could be a fun one. Toya says, I'm still stuck in 2025. Central time or Pacific time? Ellie Lazardi. Happy New Year. Shout out to my Superman, Cam, who got me into wrestling and also introduced me to your reviews. Glad to be starting 2026 with you.
It's the amazing Gunther.
Holy shit.
Jerry Lawler loves Gunther the Magnificent. All hail Gunther.
Well, it's about damn time we haven't seen Gunther, our friend Gunther, around here. $50 Gunther bomb. Hey, Z-Ray, you are officially a member of the Bomb Squad tonight. Did you realize that? I'm inducting you into the Bomb Squad. Thank you, Z-Ray. I'm going to get to you in a minute. Ellie, thank you. I'm glad that, hey, shout out to Cam for introducing you. And I hope you enjoy all the content. There's going to be a lot more coming here on the channel in 2026. Let me switch over to something different here. How about this? Get a different tune going here. Koji, the antagonist, says, have yet to meet you at a House of Glory show, but I plan to soon. You may not remember, but you helped me deal with my mom's death last year, and again on the anniversary of her death this year, and I can't thank you enough. Well, that's That's very kind of you to say that, and I'm glad that I could be of some help. Obviously, I can only do so much, but anytime, you know that. And yeah, I mean, one of these days you'll have to say hello. If you see me at the House of Glory show, I'm always there. So definitely say hello, and maybe we'll grab a photo. But I'm wishing you a very happy New Year, Koji. Bender McSimpson, Happy New Year solo in chat. Buy or sell Becky Lynch as a face or a heel? Plucky babyface / the man versus big time Bex, current paranoid Bex. I think that the version of Becky that we've had this year is probably the best work that she's ever done. I mean, I think she was pretty instrumental, honestly, in helping to get Lyra over the hump. She was kind of like, she was like right there, but not really where she needed to be. And I think by working with Becky helped get her there. And she's trying to do the same thing now with Maxine. And the jury is out on whether or not it's going to work. But I mean, they're doing everything they need to be doing as far as Maxine is concerned. You know, they did vignettes for her. They're giving her live mic time in the ring. They put a belt on her. Again, I don't know if it's going to work, but you know, working with Becky can only be of help to her. Bobby's World had to drop in time for the countdown. Good news. Says, I got asked today by our district manager if I would be willing to go to another store as a manager in training. Well, that's awesome. That is very good news. Especially on New Year's Eve. It's the best news to get going into the new year. Robotech Guy. Once again, you set the gold standard in wrestling podcast. Thank you. I predict that Sirius XM's wrestling channel will offer the Solomonster a job, but he will turn it down as he's too good for them. Happy New Year. Is this a prediction for 2026? I don't know. It depends. You know, how many C notes are they going to flash in my face? You're a very optimistic fellow. Thank you, Robotech Guy. Sidro, what do you call a sleepwalking nun? A roaming Catholic. There you go, Sidro. There you go, Sidro. I gave it to you. Richard says, Happy New Year, Solomonster. Happy New Year, Richard. Maze the Great, one of our regulars here on the channel, says, here's a bad one. What do you call a movie shop that sells nothing but unfunny comedies? Duff's Video Store. I didn't say it. He said it. I didn't say it, Duff's. Don't blame me, Duff's. I'm just communicating the message here. I am only the messenger. Jeremy Rose says, Happy New Year, Solo. Me and the wife are enjoying steam, taking Jello shots based in certain super chats. I'll just say Asuka is killing me. I assume he meant stream. But he says, me and the wife are enjoying a steam. I don't know. Hey, he's a happily married man, and if that's how they want to enjoy their time together, that's great. All I'm saying is that if I were married and I was enjoying a good steam with my wife, I don't know that I would be listening to me, but I wish you both a very happy New Year. Enjoying a good steam. Oh my goodness. We have a little guest here who dropped in the chat. We have JD from New York is in the chat here. 4 old fashions tonight. Lightweight. That's it. It's already 12:45. That should be at least double that by now. Well, he's slowing down in his old age. Just wanted to wish the Monster and the Sound Off family a happy new year. Thank you for the support. And I hope Jason and I are making you guys proud with TNT. Love you, brother. Yes, indeed. We had what I believe to be our longest watch time yet for a TNT last night. Almost an hour. So, like, if you live stream and if you do content like that on YouTube, you know, watch time, average viewer time is one of the key metrics that you look at. It's like retention time, you know, how long are people sticking around for? And I think it was 58 minutes. It's a long fucking time. Like that's a high number. So we're very proud of that. And the way things have been going on Tuesdays has been tremendous. So we both thank all of you for that. And here's to blowing it up even bigger and better in 2020. We know we will. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of just when and what that looks like. But we will be doing that. So yes, right back at you, my friend. But you got to have a couple more of those old fashions. I'm 4. I mean, that's it. That's very disappointing. I'm very sad we didn't have any JD from Utah making appearances tonight. I guess technically, though, it's not New Year's yet in Utah. Hulkling 93 with the 10. As I drink my Bailey, boy, a lot of you are fucking just completely shit-faced tonight. I'm trying to read some of these and they don't make any sense. As I drink my Baileys, Happy New Year, Solo. This is a prime opportunity. I can't even speak. Opportunity for Mercedes to truly evolve her persona. Of the 4 horsewomen, Bailey and Becky have made the most attempts at evolving their persona. I don't disagree with you on that. I think that Becky is number 1 when it comes to that. See, Wrestle Rants, he knows good fashion. Thank you, Wrestle Rants. JR Vischer, Happy New Year, Solomonster. We love you, Solo. Thank you, JR. Good old JR. I love to hear that. Thank you. We got Chris from the Near Fall podcast. Says, what's up? Happy New Year to you and your family. As the clock strikes midnight in the East Coast, Chris Jericho is a free agent. Yeah, we just talked about that before. Maybe he's on a 3-way call as we speak with Levesque and Nick Khan. They're working out the details. How do we get the rights legally to Judas? We got to work this out, right? They're having that conversation right now. Z Paul says, of course, Austin became Stone Cold in WWE because, as Flair said at the 2K14 symposium, who could work for WCW and not drink? Paul Van Summeren, Happy New Year's, brother. Thanks for what you do. Thanks for reining in JD on Tuesday nights as well. You're very welcome. Drew McIncock says, banger year from Solo. 2026 will be my 10-year anniversary. Difference between a chickpea and a garbanzo bean. Oh my God. What is the difference between a chickpea and a garbanzo bean? I've never had a garbanzo bean on my chest. Oh my God. You know what the saddest part about that is? He's not even drunk. And he came up with that. Navy 4181. Imagine the count as a ref. 1, 2, Hawk 2. Yeah, that would be There are some referees who count that way. And then you also have referees who do whatever the fuck it is that Paul Turner did the other night at World's End. Jeremy Rose with a 22 says, I'm confused partly to the reason for WWE's pettiness and always going head to head with AEW. I understand business, but in the wrestling industry, I would think that people like Triple H would understand competition is better for industry. It's not how it works, brother. Their MO has always been to frustrate and stomp out the competition. Anybody who they perceive as competition that is not friendly to them or is a direct competitor to them. It's the way Vince operated. It's the way they operate to this very day. It's a nice idea in theory, but that's just not how business works. Also, will HOG ever come down south? Nashville or Atlanta? We've definitely talked about Atlanta, so I think, I'm not saying anything official yet, but I think we will, yes. And there's plans for other places that I can't say right now, so, but will we ever go down south? The answer is yes. The answer is yes. We have a brand new school in Orlando, the Orlando Oviedo area, so it's a pretty safe bet that we're probably going to end up there at some point. Anderson Blitz, thank you, Solo, for a great 2025, and here's to 2026. Cheers. Here, I'll raise my my mug to that. The Mount Vernon Kid says, Real Talk Boss, one of my favorite content creators here on YouTube in 2025, Lamar Wilson, and the sad part about it is how he died. Please, everybody, if something is wrong mentally, reach out to someone. Yes, that is a very good mention. Good thing to mention. Was he the one that I heard about? God, what kind of reviews did he do? Was it food? Was it food related reviews? It was somebody. It was a very sad story. I don't remember if it was him or not, because unfortunately I've read multiple stories recently about content creators and YouTubers and influencers that committed suicide. So it's kind of hard to keep track of these stories, but yes, that is a good message to relay. Jeremy Dyer, favorite Tanahashi match? Oh God, for me, I don't remember which Wrestle Kingdom it was off the top of my head, but it was definitely one of the Okada matches. Although he had a great one, man, he had so many great ones, but he had a great one with Omega too. But yeah, it was one of the Okada ones. I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember which Wrestle Kingdom it would have been. Oh, Tech. Yes. Okay, so that is the person I was thinking of. Yeah, he reviewed Tech on his YouTube channel. You never know, man. You never know what someone is going through. There she is again. Wisest Human 2824. Jared Ransom, been an active listener for about 15 years now. From a purely broadcast perspective, what moment or event caused you hesitation to talk about? Or do you regret how you covered it? I don't think I regret the way that I covered anything. Honestly, what I had hesitation in talking about was some of that disgusting Vince McMahon shit from the lawsuit. I remember reading through every page of the lawsuit, the Janelle Grant suit, when it dropped.
It's the amazing Gunther. Jerry Lawler loves Gunther the Magnificent. All hail Gunther.
Mr. Delish with the $50 Gunther bomb. Is that Dylan? That is Dylan. Shout out to Dylan. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday and Happy New Year, Dylan. Man, that's another member of the Bomb Squad. Thank you, Dylan. I'm going to get to yours in a little bit. So yeah, I mean, maybe it's recency bias, but I might have to go with that one, honestly, because the stuff that I was reading, the most salacious stuff from that lawsuit was absolutely revolting. It's like, how do you even talk about that stuff? The Mount Vernon kid says, I love you, Solo, but no shade against Dashi. Is it Dashi or Dashi? I don't know how to pronounce it. And what does he review? I've never heard of him before. The Uffman says, Asuka is yelling Feliz Año Nuevo. Are you my designated translator now? Duff's Vid says, I was in the hospital. The nurse said I couldn't feel anything below the waist, so I felt her chest. I was escorted out after. I'll bet. I'll bet you were. You were escorted right to a jail cell. That's Duff's Vids. We got Dane Glizak. This is the new wrestling commentary channel. Thanks. Well, that's the best compliment that I could be paid. Thank you, Dane. I wish you a very happy new year, and I hope you enjoy the content. We got Swamp Witch with the 20. I love you, Solo, in my best Jacob Fatu voice. Happy New Year. You've kept this gal's spirits up through cancer and divorce this year, so thanks for that. That's a very shitty year, and I'm sorry you had to go through all that. But I hope, certainly on the cancer end, I don't know where you are with that, but I hope that things are going as well as possible and that things are better. Because I certainly, in this family, on my end, I certainly have a lot of experience with that. But I wish you nothing but the best and all the health and happiness in 2026. Live, laugh, love, lie. Brother Solo, do you like Oreos? I do. I don't have them very often, but I do enjoy them. Leopoldo says, what gives Solo more pleasure? Crushing camp kids' spirits by taking away their Pokemon cards or watching grandmothers fall down a flight of stairs? It's definitely the Pokemon cards. Just because it used to piss me off so much. I'll go with that one. Johnny Burney, of course, the fireworks wake me up. Happy New Year. Yeah, I always feel sorry for the pets when it comes to July 4th and New Year's. If you have like a dog or a cat, that's who I feel sorry for. Jeremy Rose says, watch WrestleMania X7 last night. 3.5 hours, like 11 matches. Now we get 4 hours, 4 to 5 matches. I miss the old days. Fuck TKO. We used to get a lot more wrestling on those shows. Chris Lloyd, did you know Jimmy Wang Yang pinned AJ Styles on the first ever TNA show? And Trinity was the first TNA knockout to challenge for a men's title. It was for the X Division Championship with Kid Cash. I did not know that. Thank you, Chris. But there's no way he was Jimmy Wang Yang by that name on that show, right? Dane says, best not new. Wheeler Yuta looks like a hairball. He does. He does look like a hairball. I like the other idea, though, that was mentioned earlier about Moxley should stuff him in the briefcase instead of the belt and carry him around for the next 6 months. I can endorse that idea. I like that idea. We got Z-Ray with a $50 bomb. Happy New Year's, Solo. I just got back into WWE this year, and I have been away since 2007, so it was nice to find you this year. I'm glad you did. Thank you for all your content and your insight, and here's to another great year. Z-Ray, thank you very much. That is a lot of money, and I appreciate that very much. Falcon Star says, Solomonster said, gotta catch them all as he takes away their cards. That's what I should have said as I went around collecting all their cards. Gotta catch them all. There's the garbage right over there. Power Spying Games. I don't know if I can stay up for the whole stream this year. I have work in 12 hours. I will have to catch up later. Happy New Year, Solo, and the chat. Well, it'll be here. It'll be archived here, and I'll get the audio up tomorrow, so I got you covered. Did I ever watch Adam the Woo? He just passed away at 51 in his sleep. Yeah, he's another one who passed away recently. I did not watch him, though. I think I was aware of him, but I just never watched him. The Mount Vernon Kid, what do you think of Mercedes going through some changes after this loss and she becomes unhinged Monet even with a new hairstyle? She's already become unhinged. I mean, if you saw the segment at World's End the other night after they lost the tag team match, she was literally in the back in her locker room just screaming and breaking a mirror and trashing all kinds of stuff. If you want her to change her appearance, I mean, the only thing I could think of is maybe, you know, one day she comes out and her hair's all like frazzled and shit. But like, I mean, she's not going to radically change the way she looks. But she has been slowly becoming more unhinged. It's just not a constant thing. She kind of goes in and out of it. I'd like to see them ratchet that up a little bit more now. I think they will. At some point, like, it doesn't make sense for her to be so confident and full of herself after she's lost 3 or 4 championships. You know what I mean? Like, there has to be this slow descent into madness. The Juliet, December must have been the month for shoulder injuries. Michin reportedly injured hers during the holiday tour. Yes, we talked about this earlier. Michin, and now Luchasaurus has a shoulder injury as well. Devin from NJ. Happy New Year's to all. Which title change is more likely? Punk dropping to Braun or Cody to Drew? Also, was Solo a Skylar hater on Breaking Bad? I found her incredibly annoying, yes. I didn't hate her the way, like, there were people that are just sick in the head who were like sending death threats to the actress who played her, which is just ridiculous. I just found her character to be incredibly annoying. As far as which title change is more likely of the two, Drew is more likely. But we'll get into some of that when I do my predictions for the new year on Sunday. Hey, Zachary Torres, what's going on? What part of the globe are you on? Just 4 hours on my side of the globe. Actually, real quick in the live chat, everybody type in where you're from. If you're in the States, what state? And if you're not in the States, what country? That way we can get a sense of where everybody is from. I'm curious. Here at 1 a.m. Eastern time, where everybody is from. Dominic. Happy New Year, Solomonster in New York. Happy New Year, Dominic. There he is. There's Super SAIYAN Cena. There he is. Activated Super Cena with that 10 spot. Oh my God, the chat now is going so... It's going too fast. We got Toronto. We got California. We got Pennsylvania, Virginia, Long Island. Nassau or Suffolk? Michigan, Indiana, Bethlehem, PA, Oklahoma, Kansas, Canada, Hawaii, Tennessee, Alabama. We got 2 from Alabama. South Carolina, Syracuse, Sacramento, Ohio, Fayetteville, Wisconsin, England, Milwaukee, Australia. From Texas, but currently in Illinois, Mount Vernon, New York, Toronto, Ohio, Montebello, California, Cleveland, Japan. Oh, well, it's almost Sapien. Yeah, of course, Japan. 3:03 p.m. in the afternoon in Japan. See, we got a much bigger variety than I even thought in the chat. Look at this. Phil the Truth. Happy New Year to all as we celebrate the new year, new opportunities, new memories, and new findings. And untapped strength. Did you write this, Phil, or was this AI? Happy 2026. Happy New Year, Phil. And we got Sammy in the chat from Saudi Arabia. You got a Royal Rumble coming up. Johnny Boy Vaccaro. What's going on, Johnny Boy? Happy New Year, Solo, JD, and Jesse, the best of the best content creators of the IWC. See, Johnny Boy knows where it's at. Super Pony, Happy New Year, Solo. Have a blessed 2026. You as well, Super Pony. Wisest Human with the 15. I work early and pass out during most wrestling shows. That's where your shows typically come in. Thank you always. Happy New Year. I tell you guys all the time, I watch so you don't have to. You can watch if you want, but you don't have to. I got you covered, or at least when you can't. And when you do watch, you come over here and we all talk about it. See, we got people from all kinds of backgrounds who watch, who don't watch anymore. We got RD Beats. This is Dylan. Just an update. I'm finally getting bookings outside Austin after my promos have gone viral. I've got a title match this Saturday. Keep up the good work, Solo. Always enjoy your podcast. Feel the beat. That's right. RD Beats. Yeah, Dylan's been keeping us posted for some time now about his wrestling journey. And it seems to be going well. So definitely keep us in the loop here in the new year. I feel like this is going to be like a breakout year for you. So definitely keep us posted as things are moving along. Don't forget us little people. And thank you for the support. I appreciate that. Hulkling93, I'm not too concerned that my bro, the Mount Vernon kid, doesn't have you not as his YouTube number one, even though I do. You having the Mets as your number one isn't, though, since that's a choking hazard. By the way, not shit-faced. Have at it. I mean, I don't really have anything to throw back in your face. I mean, they certainly did choke pretty badly this season. And it doesn't look like we're going anywhere next season either. I am Dean Goldberry. Favorite milk, almond, coconut, or oat? Right now it would be soy or almond. I got almond in my fridge right now. Retro KOH, Happy New Year from Vietnam. Okay, we just added Vietnam to the list. I made the worst decision and went to the mall. Horrible mistake. Well, I mean, that was your first mistake. You went to the mall at the worst time of year, no less, by the way. I don't know how it is in Vietnam, but you don't go to the mall around the holidays here. You just don't do it. Nothing good can be gained from that. And now everybody's going to have all their shit that they have to return. So, like, if you have a need to go to a mall, you may as well wait until at least mid-January. Jedi Joker 93 says, yo, never really sent you a super chat, but I've been watching you. I'm from JD's community. I've grown to respect your takes. Happy New Year, brother. Well, I appreciate that, Jedi Joker. I appreciate that very much. I'm glad you enjoy the takes or the content. Welcome. Don't be a stranger. Feel free to drop in whenever you want. And I'm wishing you a very happy New Year, wherever you may be. Super Cam Fit with a 10. Shout out to Ellie in the chat. Let me take you out. So, oh, look at this guy. Look at this guy. He couldn't even wait. He couldn't wait one night. We had an actual girl in the chat, and already, look at this. He's slobbering all over himself. Control yourself. Says, Solo, my birthday is your half birthday, so I will have an extra whiskey for you when it comes around. What is your favorite whiskey? I mean, I usually just get, Jack Daniels. Jack Daniels, be honey whiskey. They have like an apple flavor that actually is not bad. So sometimes I'll get that. I keep it simple. Sometimes I'll get Makers. Prime dried ribs and chicken with flavor. Says, Happy New Year's, Solomonster. Happy New Year to you as well. Speaking of regulars here on the channel, he's with us every week. Hey, you guys killed it. And then he had one more. He says, congratulations to Willow Nightingale for winning the TBS title. Also, Stranger Things franchise, the greatest show in the 21st century. Thank you, Duffer Brothers. Yeah, I know they're having like a Stranger Things tie-in with Raw this Monday. I don't know what that is about. I don't know what that's going to look like. I am very behind on these new parts from the latest season, so I've only seen the first episode from part 1 that dropped like Thanksgiving, so I have a lot of catching up to do. And Alfonso, Happy New Year, Solo. May 2026 be the best year yet for you and the channel and all your future endeavors. P.S. Did you ever watch K-Pop Demon Hunters? And did you sing along? I have not watched K-Pop Demon Hunters yet because I am trying to catch up with Stranger Things first. And I just finished another show called Pluribus. I finished a show called Pluribus, which is a new Apple TV show with Rhea Seehorn as the star. She was Kim, if you are familiar with the show Better Call Saul. She's great. It's a Vince Gilligan show, and it's a very, very slow. It's not a bad show, but it's just a very slow burn. So the first season now is over, and there's about like 8 episodes, I think. So I was watching that. So I just wrapped that up. So, but K-Pop Demons or Demon, whatever it is on my list because you guys told me that it is something worth checking out. So, because it's like an anime, right? I'm not really an anime guy, but it looks like it's something that I may have to check out because you guys recommended it. Yeah, I mean, Pluribus, it's one of those things where you either really like it or you really just despise it because it's very slow. There's like a lot of episodes where it's like, man, nothing happened. But that's not really true because like they're building the story, they're building the characters, but it's like agonizingly slow. Where it's like, okay, we really need something to happen here. So I don't like drool over it the way that I see some other people drooling over it. Like, oh my God, it's 10 out of 10. Like I see a lot of like AEW fans that way. Like every show is 10 out of 10. Every show is great. Like, no, it's not. Every show is not great. And it's okay to admit that. Like Pluribus, it's a good show, but it's not the best show I've ever seen. But it's also just one season. So I'll give it a chance. You know what the problem is with these shows? Like I was curious, like, okay, when is season 2 coming out? And like season 2 isn't coming out for like 3 years. And I promise you, like 3 years from now, I'm going to forget every fucking thing I watched on that show. And they'll have the little recap at the beginning. But, it's like, what is with these 3-year waits in between seasons? Like why does every show feel like you got to wait 3 years? It's ridiculous. Tonga Loa Superfan. Happy New Year, Solo. Long time, but had to drop in to celebrate. It was a fantastic year for yours truly, Tongaloa, in 2025. What's in store for 2026? Well, let's just say bigger and better than you could ever imagine. Oh my. I shudder to think what that must mean. Does that mean gold? Is gold going to be in Tongaloa's future? Yeah, then you have to rewatch everything. I feel like I have to go back and rewatch at least the most recent season. Which I did not have time to do with Stranger Things. So I just watched it. They had like a 4-minute recap at the beginning. So like I pretty much got up to speed. But there's still a lot of stuff from last season. I vaguely remember, and it's like I don't have time to go back and watch it. I'm sorry. We're just gonna pick up with the new season, and if I miss any, little Easter eggs or whatever, or little things I need to remember from last season, then oh well. Z-Ray with a 15 says, I forgot to ask, but what are your thoughts on Kendall Gray? It feels like she came out of nowhere on NXT. I don't hate it, but it's crazy how fast she is going up because she's super talented. I talked about her a few weeks ago. Somebody asked me about her in the mailbag on the podcast, so I talked about Kendall Gray, and I had nothing but positive things to say about her. She's super athletic. She has really taken to this very quickly, and I think she's going to be a major star in that women's division. I mean, it's like everything's coming up aces for her as long as she can stay healthy. I've been very impressed by what I've seen. I've seen her, like, the way she moves and some of the stuff she does in the ring. I haven't seen some of that stuff before. She just seems like such a natural at it. Hulkling with another 5 says, my dad is now asking me a lot of questions about you confiscating kids' Pokemon cards. Did he give them back? Why did he do this as a counselor? Because it was becoming a real issue with all of the groups, and we were told that if they're being played with, you have to take them away. And eventually they were returned to them. But, there were certain activities where you're not supposed to be doing that. So it's like up to the counselors to confiscate the cards if the kids don't listen. Of course, kids don't listen because they never do. So you have to have somebody assertive in a position of authority who could put their foot down and say, okay, that's it. And I was the head counselor, so I had to be the bad guy. It's fine. I enjoy being the bad guy. It's fun. Jarvis Harrison says, thank you for everything. Happy New Year's. Stay golden. Thank you, brother. I'll give you a... not really a kazoo. It doesn't make any noise, but there you go. It should make noise, right? This is supposed to make noise. I don't know why it doesn't make noise. Slushy Glue, 9167. Says, like The Wire, only had 1 year wait each season. Well, that would be fantastic. A year I can do. I could do that. But like 3 years, like, why? It's too long. Super Pony, if you haven't seen Dexter, I highly recommend it. It's my favorite television show of all time. I have not seen Dexter. That is one that, for whatever reason, I never watched it. Dried Chicken says, to honor Avenger Doomsday coming out this year, which wrestler do you see being the Doctor Doom of WWE and AEW? I mean, for AEW, wouldn't it be like MJF? The Doctor Doom of WWE? Victor Von Doom? I don't know. Who would be the Doctor Doom of WWE? I don't know. I have to think about that. Gunther? Oh, Gunther's yeah, you know what? Gunther. Maybe Gunther. Gunther probably would be the best answer to that. Retro says, I can relate, Solo. I got to heal it up on my students when they don't listen. They're into Pokemon today like I was in 1999. See, I just missed that. I just missed like the Power Rangers and the Pokemon. That was like after me. I just missed that whole craze. Again, my whole thing was like He-Man, Thundercats, Turtles. Like that was me. Wrestling, WWF. Moore says, check Severance if you haven't. An all-timer. I keep hearing this from people. So I watched the first episode and like I fell asleep towards the end of it and I just never went back to it. I was kind of bored, honestly. So like, is it worth it to like keep up with it? Does it get better? Because I was pretty fucking bored. I'm not going to lie to you. Everybody raves about that show. I'll give it a second chance. I wasn't compelled enough to go back and finish what I started. Devin says, buy or sell Kim Wexler or Skylar White? Kim Wexler. I got to buy on Kim. Well, let me check the likes and the extra goal here. So the likes, we blew that out of the water a few hours ago. And of course, we hit the bonus goal as well. Had I set a new one, we could have done a double-double. Like a double E. Well, I'll tell you what we'll do, actually, while I'm here. Here's what we'll do. Because we're going to do a double be the booker for sure. Am I allowed to set? I don't even know if I can set another one. No, I don't think it's going to let me. Yeah, it's no fun. Really? Oh, wait, no, I can. Oh, I can. Okay, yeah, fuck it. We may not hit this, but what the fuck? We'll do a double. We'll do a second double round. How about this? We'll do a second double round with all intergender matches. Intergender tag, intergender women. Well, I mean, yeah, you know what I mean. We'll do 3 of them. If we hit this bonus goal, I'm going to be a little crazy with this one here. Probably won't hit this one, but whatever. We'll see. You have until the end of the stream here to surprise me. There you go. Let's send that out into the universe. All right, but we're going to get those 2 rounds in here in a second. Let me just catch up with these super... Oh, look who's back. He's back. Yes. Joseph is back. The birthday boy is back. Joseph Stewart. Joseph, how was your birthday? I hope it was very good. Says, I'm back, Solomonster. Happy New Year, buy or sell. Jack Nicholson as Jimmy Hoffa in Hoffa or Al Pacino as Jimmy Hoffa in The Irishman? I'm going to go Jack Nicholson on that one. I'm going to go Jack Nicholson in Hoffa to answer your question. You just, I'm in a New Year's mood here. Let me have that on low. There you go. The Mount Vernon Kid just saw Solo, another shoulder injury, but this time from WWE, Michin. Yep. Talked about that earlier. Don't know how serious it is, but that probably means no match with her and Jade on Friday. So I don't know what they're going to do. Put her back in the ring with B-Fab? Put her in there with... You know what? Put her in there with Julia. Fuck it. Do Jade and Julia, non-title, and just let them go out there and work. Can you imagine if they let Julia just go out there and be Julia against Jade? Just go out there and you just do your thing. It's going to be a bad night for Jade if they let Julia be Julia. Eminem. Happy New Year, Solo and the rest of the family. I learned something this past holiday. My puppy's favorite holiday song is Feliz Naughty Dog. Yeah. Joseph says, buy or sell Nicholson as the Joker or Nicholson as Jimmy Hot. Well, come on, this is not even a question here. The Joker, of course. Hey, Kobe Bond. Thank you for being a member. And Joseph says, I had a wonderful birthday. I had so much fun. Went to dinner and the arcade with my family and friends. Well, that is very cool. When I was younger, the arcade used to be my favorite place too. I don't even know if that's a thing anymore. Everything now is mobile. Everyone has fucking games on their phone. They don't have to go to an arcade anymore. They either have a PS5, they have a Switch, right? Or they have just games on their smartphone. Does anybody go to the arcade anymore? Is that even a thing? See, when life was simpler, going to the arcade was like a fun experience. You had skee ball, you had the little basketball hoops, you had the fucking thing with the hammer to test your strength, and then you had all the arcade stuff. That's how I played WrestleFest. That's how I played Mortal Kombat and X-Men and all that stuff. I know I didn't say do they exist. I know they exist. I'm just saying, are they as popular as they used to be? I own an arcade. So do I. I have one of those arcade one-ups, the Mortal Kombat one. Oh, man. Hey, shout out to Matthew. You email me. Better to email me if you have a question like that. The Solomonster@gmail.com. How often do I get recognized in public from the podcast and the streams? I get recognized sometimes. It's not like every day. But like at the gym, I've been recognized. Where was I? It was a few months ago. It was like 2 months ago. I was actually walking down the street on like the main avenue. And I don't remember where I was coming back from, but I was walking right by the pizza place. And somebody had gotten out of their car and came out, and they were coming towards me. And I was like, okay, what's going on here? And it was somebody who recognized me from the streams. Just like randomly walking down the street. And I'm like, and he's like explaining to me. And I remembered, I think, like what he was telling me, and I'm like, that's pretty freaking cool, actually, you know. So it happens, you know, it happens. I'm not, Leonardo DiCaprio or anything like that, but it definitely happens. The Pat's #1 fan says, "Would you rather have had Brett versus Austin at WrestleMania 14?" Yes. The answer is yes. Joseph says, I played Big let me start over again. I played Big Lebowski pinball machine game at the arcade. I didn't even know they had a Big Lebowski pinball machine. Oh, pinball. Yeah, I used to play. That's the other thing also, pinballs. You know what my favorite thing is about playing the fucking pinball machines? This is my favorite part of playing pinball. When you hit the ball and the ball goes straight up and there's nothing you can do. And you're flipping, the little flippers are going, you're hitting the flippers and the flippers are going, and the ball just goes right down the fucking middle. Used to piss me off. Joseph says 2026 will be Liv Dom's year. I feel like this year was Liv Dom's year. Like every year. It's like Dom and Rhea, Dom and Liv. Who will Dom be with next year? Maybe he'll be with Blake Monroe. You know, he'll trade up from Liv to Blake. Good for him, though. Linkmaster X. They got Danish. I'm going to pick some up for Bell. Super Pony, that picture of Big Show frightens me. Good, that's the point. It's meant to scare you. Just be lucky you're only seeing it from the chest up. I have the full image. It's far scarier. I actually did you guys a favor by lowering it. Ace of Master says, happy 2026, everyone. Linkmaster says, Maury's wigs never come off. Is he still on the air? God, I remember when he used to host A Current Affair. Let's see how many of you old heads in here remember A Current Affair. Everyone knows Maury is like the guy, like, you are the father. And I'm like, I knew Maury before that, when he was more of like a straight news guy. The Irate Observer says, happy New Year, Solomonster. This is Faisal from Kuwait. Hey, Faisal, what's going on, man? I'm heading to Japan tomorrow night to attend Wrestle Kingdom. Oh, that's awesome. Decided to go see Tanahashi's retirement over the Royal Rumble in Riyadh. I can't wait. We'll keep you posted. You know what, brother? I think you made the right choice. I think you made the right choice, because that's going to be special. To be able to like say that you were there for Tanahashi's last match, and it's against Okada. I know Omega is there. That's why he wasn't on Dynamite tonight. Omega is in Japan. Ospreay's in Japan. They're going to be there for I guess he's having like a retirement ceremony. So I would love to go to a Wrestle Kingdom one year. Enjoy the show. Super Pony, you're way better than DiCaprio Solo. He's a fraud. I don't know. He's made some great movies. I can't crap on the movies he's made. A great actor. No, Wrestle Kingdom is Sunday. Wrestle Kingdom is January 4th. Joseph says, Hoffa is one of my favorite Jack Nicholson. I could tell. I could tell that it is. Do you think Hoffa is one of Jack Nicholson's underrated movies? No, I think it's rated about right. Linkmaster says those were Goodfellas. I knew they were references. It just, I blanked out there. I wasn't sure what it was in reference to. But thank you for clarifying that. All right, we got 2 rounds to get through here because you guys killed it. So let's go ahead and be the booker.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to be the booker.
Yeah, I didn't say that it was from Maury Povich. You got to pay attention, Steven. I was talking about something someone said in the chat. Why the fuck would I think that was from Maury Povich? I was looking at a different message. And Joseph says, do you think Big Show will return to WWE? No. As far as like a performer or to do anything beyond a Hall of Fame induction one day, no. He'll be in the Hall of Fame one day, but no. I think he's content to just be with AEW. He still wants to get back in the ring. He wants to have like a final run. He has the rights. He has, or Tony Khan has obtained the rights to the Captain Insano character that he still wants to portray from the Water Boy fucking 30 years ago. And so he's going to, at some point, do something in AEW. I mean, last time we saw him in a match, he could barely fucking move. I don't have any interest in seeing him back in the ring. I don't think there's any need for him to be back in the ring. But I don't see WWE allowing him back in the ring. So if he's going to do it, he's going to do it in AEW. All right, here we go. Tag team Be the Booker. If you have not seen this before, it's such a random thing, but people love it. And everything you're seeing here, I created this. It's mine. It's my creation. We have the Briscoes, Jay and Mark, one of the great tag teams of our time, of all time, really. 13 times, right? I believe 13 times. Tag team champions, the Briscoes. I got to call their very last match ever together. It's crazy. The Briscoes are going to choose 2 single stars to form a makeshift team. Okay. Then I guess that's what we have to do. We have to choose 2 single stars. So we're going to get a completely random team here. This should be interesting. Uh-oh. Look who it is, everybody. It's the bald fraud, as Punk called him. The Rock wants your soul. He wants your soul.
I want your soul, Cody. Give it to me. I want your soul.
Well, The Rock is going to be on this team because he just took that spot. So he's getting 1 spot. We know this. Hey, the Briscoes. That means the Briscoes are going to share the ring with The Rock. So now we find out who the Rock's tag team partner is going to be. Ooh, it's going to be The Rock and Bobby Lashley against the Briscoes. Who you got in that match? I don't know, man. Rock and Lashley is a pretty formidable team. Pretty good match right there. I think the stipulation actually enhanced the match. All right, now we got a women's match here in Be the Booker. Skylar says 2 bald frauds. Oh no. 2 bald frauds for the price of 1. I will never call Lashley a fraud. We have, well, look at this. It's Evil Alexa. We have Alexa Bliss. This is from the Fiend days, right? This is where she's, as a Bliss fan would say, she is the Fiendess here. We have Evil Alexa. And she will be taking on Mommy is Mad. Pick a step to make her happy. Mommy is mad. That's not good. Uh-oh. We got to pick a stipulation for this match. We'll pick a stip and then we'll pick an opponent. Oh my God. Alexa Bliss does not belong in a Brawl for All match, but that's what we're doing. We're doing the Brawl for All, everybody. I feel bad for Alexa Bliss. I don't think this is going to end well for her. Well, maybe we'll land on somebody that's like more her size, right? Maybe it won't be so bad. Alexa Bliss in a Brawl for All match against Chelsea Green. Okay, now that's, as far as somebody that won't, overpower her, it's not bad, but as a match, no. That I do not want to see that match. I do not want to see a Brawl for All match between Alexa Bliss and Chelsea Green. It's fucking awful. Oh, man. All right, our first main event here. We have one more round to go after this. Here we go. Chelsea going to come out of that Brawl for All match having to wear her face mask again. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Here we go, baby. Ilya Dragunov. Look at this guy. Look at the wound over his eye. Every match that this guy has he is wearing the wounds of war. He's got welts on his chest, or he's bleeding, or he's got some cut on his fucking face. Every match that he's in, it's like a war. Ilya Dragunov. We gotta get a Gunther Dragunov match this year. I wouldn't mind seeing that at WrestleMania. If they don't do Gunther and AJ. Everyone's like Gunther and Brock at Mania. Yeah, give me Gunther and Dragunov on the WrestleMania stage. I know it's been done before, but let's do it again. The Mad Dragon against the Tribal Chief. That's a match right there. Roman Reigns and Ilya Dragunov. 2 out of 3. Not bad. Not a sweep, but not bad for night 1 of our 2-night extravaganza. Our buy one, get one free 2-night extravaganza. But you know what happens in round 2. Round 2, night 2, we pick steps for all the matches. So, I wouldn't mind that being a WrestleMania match either. Roman Reigns and Ilya Dragunov. I don't know what the story would be, but I would not mind that at all. All right, here we go. We got ourselves a stretcher match. Oh, what are we getting on Friday? Oh, no, it's an ambulance match. We're getting an ambulance match on SmackDown Friday between Aleister Black and Damian Priest. At this point, I feel like those two guys are going to run through every possible stipulation that there is for a wrestling match. We had Last Man Standing. I think we've had a regular match. We have an ambulance match. And then we'll probably get a cage match. And then maybe we'll get an I Quit match. How long is this feud going to go on for? Usually we start with tag teams. This is not really a stipulation that lends itself well to tag teams, so we're going to go with the ladies match. How about that? It'll be a ladies stretcher match. Priscilla Kelly, former Gigi Dolan. Okay. In a stretcher match against Camille. Yeah, what the hell happened to Camille? Boy, did she just vanish off the face of the earth. Apparently, Tony Khan is paying Britt Baker, and he's paying Camille, he's paying Danhausen, he's paying all these people to just sit home and do nothing. Not a bad job if you can get it, but I would imagine these people would like to actually work for their money. But hey, it's not my money. I guess he'll spend it how he wants to spend it. I don't get it, but it's how it is. All right, match number 2. We have, oh God, not this again. Oh my God. If ever there was a sound effect for this. Yeah. This is the second time this week, by the way, that I have picked the Punjabi prison. Well, I guess we're doing the men's match because I can't do a tag team match in Punjabi prison. Oh my God. Why? Why? We have so many stipulations in there. Why do we keep landing on this one? This is how we're starting 2026 with a Punjabi prison. Dominic Mysterio is going to be in the Punjabi prison. He will be defending his Intercontinental title, but who will it be against? Kane. You lost me at Kane and Punjabi prison. I just cannot in good conscience give that a bell. I'm sorry. It is simply not possible. It is not possible. It is not possible. And we're going to have well, we're going to have a tag team Inferno match. All right, so in this match, it will have to be tornado style, because if we have a regular tag team Inferno match, 2 of the 4 people will burn up. So we can't have that. So this will be a tornado tag team Inferno match that we are about to book, just because OSHA will not allow us to do it any other way. Okay. But these stipulations are wild, let me tell you. Oh, we have Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi. Okay, this image right here, this is like peak for these 2 guys. Omega and Ibushi. This is actually exactly the kind of match I would expect Ibushi to be in. More so than Kenny. Ibushi would totally be in this match. Against the world's greatest tag team of Shelton Benjamin and Charlie Haas. And a fine tag team they were. Sidro says 2 people burnt up asking for a hot tag. Oh, it's the hottest of hot tags, let me tell you. That's a hell of a match, though. Tornado Tag Team Inferno match. Haas and Benjamin against Omega and Ibushi. That's great. I gotta go night 1, though. Night 1 is the clear winner. But unfortunately, neither round was it. Oh my God. Have another drink, Rick. It's New Year's Eve. I'm sure he is right now. How do you wash the wings down? With some booze. Let's see. Let's get to these final super chats here. You got something to say? If you want to show some love, get them on in. Before we end the 6th annual Make It Till Midnight. Make It Till Midnight. It's almost 2 a.m. Let's see here. We have Ghost of Achilles. Thank you, Solo. Thoughts on Nolan's Odyssey? Can't really chime in on it. I can definitely give you thoughts on Nolan's Batman trilogy. I'll give you my thoughts on that. Linkmaster, 50 Shades of Captain Insano. Oh my God. Please no. Please no. Joseph says, I played the Jurassic Park arcade game today. That's cool. Thank you again for the birthday wishes and everything. Really appreciate it. And have a wonderful new year. You too, Joseph. I will see you on the streams. Cameron Spencer. To get Oba over, you have him as the leader of a group with Waller, The Miz, Kaiser, Omos, Mia Yim, and Ivy Nile. He can be a heel world champion leading the group. That's dope. Are you down for that? Did you just suggest that the way to get Oba Femi over was to have him lead a faction with a bunch of mid-carders? And in some cases, people that could not buy television time. Like, no, I think that would be a terrible idea. I would keep him far, far away from most of the people that you just mentioned. All due respect to those people. That is not the way to get Obafemi over. That is the exact opposite of what I would do to get Obafemi over. I mean, you might be trying to uplift the other people, which is noble, but no, that is not how you get Obafemi over. Cameron, I do wish you a happy new year, though, but I can't get on board with that. Luis says, Happy New Year, Solo. It's been a rough year personally, but your content helped me escape and stay centered. Thank you for all that you do. I salute you. I'm here for you with all the content every single week. And if it can be of any help, that's what I love hearing. I don't think he is trolling. I think he was being serious. Thunder Force. I think the Undertaker versus John Cena at WrestleMania with the streak intact never happened because Vince would only do it if Cena was going to win. Well, then he's a fucking idiot. Because that was a huge missed opportunity. I mean, I ranted about it years ago before the streak was even broken. I'm like, do the match. Do the match. Why are they not doing the match? And then they never did the match. Toya says, thank you. This was fun. Happy New Year. Toya, thank you for hanging out with us tonight. Let me get through a bunch of these member chats because, again, they're not listed in the same columns. So they end up kind of being shuffled off until the end here. Eric the Sean with 34 months says, Happy New Year, Solomonster. I hope this goes even better for you. I hope so, too. Thank you, Eric. Juan Ocampo in 19 months. Happy New Year, you old geezer. Hope with everything going on and will continue to go. I hope I get to see you at HOG. Take care. Well, are you out west? Because I ain't going to be there. But hopefully one of these days we will get to see each other. I sure hope so. We'll have to find a way to make that happen. Let me make sure there's no other member chats that I missed. Hey, Joey Jojo, what's going on, Joey? Thank you, brother. Let's see. I think I got the member chats. I think we got them. Hey, West Coast James, 54 months. He's a Sound Off legend. I am, if you're still with me, brother, I'm wishing you a very happy New Year. James is one of the OGs, man. Even for the main podcast. Brandon Proctor wanted to hop in and say Happy New Year watching Stranger Things with the girlfriend. I hope you enjoy it. I hope I enjoy it. I mean, this is the big finale after all, this season. We'll see. Creflo $50. Happy New Year, Solomonster. Are you looking forward to Shuri against Saya Kamatani? Could that be the match of the year? A match of the year contender. I mean, everybody's raving about Kamatani in 2025, so I'm looking forward to seeing this match. Could it be a match of the year contender? Sure. I don't have a lot of faith they're going to give them a lot of time. I pointed this out. I did a whole preview and predictions for Wrestle Kingdom, not this week, last week. And I brought up the fact that, like, even if you go back a couple of years or 3 years, whatever it was, when Kairi was wrestling on the show, and they got like 5 minutes. And then even the match on the Tokyo Dome show last year, I think got less than 10, if that. I don't know that they're going to give the women enough time to go out there and have a match of the year contender. If they get enough time, sure. I don't know that they're going to get time. That's the only thing that, kind of worries me about that. Joey says, Happy New Year. Great stuff this year. Looking forward to the next. So am I. You never know what to expect. 8 minutes, intros included, probably. Probably get like 6 minutes. It's terrible. Starboy Bebop. I know Stephanie is more than just a devil's kiss, but do you think a way to stop her from doing it and letting her show more of her skills is turning her heel and maybe feud with Rhea? I don't think turning her heel is a good idea. I don't think people would buy it. I don't think she would be a good heel. Right. Not right now anyway. Yeah, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. Anyway, I think that is all of those. I think I am caught up on all of them now. I hope so. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me now 3 hours plus here on this New Year's Eve, now New Year's Day. It is officially 2026. And again, I just want to thank you all for a kick-ass year here on the channel in 25, our biggest year yet. We are very, very close to 90,000 subscribers. It should happen sometime in the next few weeks. And we'll have a little celebration when it happens. So hopefully you can join me for that. I'm going to be live with you on Friday night talking about the first 3 hours SmackDown. I know. Oh, my God. But we'll be here talking about that on Friday. And then this weekend, first sound off of the new year, episode 945, which will include predictions, a look back at last year's predictions, what I got right and what I got wrong, and a look ahead to the world of wrestling in 2026, plus all the news of the week. So it's going to be a good weekend, and I will hopefully see all of you here on Friday night. On your way out, if you have not already done so, hit the like button. We've already smashed the goal, but I want to run up the score and get those likes up as much as possible. And thank you for another successful New Year's Eve. Let's do it again. Unless, of course, Sabrina Carpenter wants to go ring my doorbell, and then maybe we'll be hanging out next New Year's Eve. And I'm sorry, but if Sabrina Carpenter wanted to hang out, I'm going to have to let you guys go. But assuming that doesn't happen, I will probably be here with you for year number 7, and we'll do it all over again at the end of 2026. So be well, stay safe, and again, for all of you, I wish you all a very happy New Year. Wrestle Kingdom, yes, thank you. So Wrestle Kingdom is on Sunday, and my plan, my attempt, because of course I record the podcast on Sunday morning, my attempt is going to be to at least watch the key matches, like the top 2 matches, try to watch them before I do the podcast. So I am hoping I could do sort of a quick review on Sunday, but if not, I will get to it at some point. But I'm going to try. I'm going to try to work it in there. I'm sorry if Sabrina comes calling, man. I priorities, man. Priorities. You'll understand. It's all good. Or maybe I'll have her on here with me. Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. Let's pull up a chair. That'd be great. Then my numbers will really go up. Hey, Justin Hesse with a 1999, right at the buzzer here. He wanted to have the last word. He wanted to have the final big super chat here on this New Year's Eve stream. Got your wish. Justin, Happy New Year. And to all of you, Happy New Year.